Verna's in as well. Good morning. Lots of people saying hi, right?
Yeah, they all say good morning to each other and to us as well. So yeah, they start talking to each other now as well. So Elaine's just saying, morning, Neil. Got back from hospital for a week. Glad to be back. Oh, Elaine, that's why you weren't here. We've been in hospital, my love. We noticed that you'd disappeared from the chat, so we were wondering where you were. I hope you're okay.
Oh, well, I hope you're back and good. And
yeah, absolutely. Nice to have your company back here again, Elaine. Thank you.
Now then, let's crack on. Now this, goodness me, one of the most popular items on the live on Thursday were the GM fire starter.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky. We've got it in stock, literally in the nursery right now. We'll talk all about delivery and things from YouGarden. But introduce us, Bex, if you can.
Okay, GMs are, I love GMs. They are a fantastic perennial plant for your garden. And they come back year after year, but this one in particular I actually really adore because GMs, certainly the ones I've got in my garden, they tend to be, and they're beautiful, but they're much more sort of pastel shades that you're getting, and they're gorgeous. I really like this one being the fire starter, the bright red colour that you're getting from those. They're double blooms as well, so really petalicious. Lovely plant for you to have in the garden for your pollinators as well, because these do invite those pollinators in.
Okay.
And what I quite like is that GMs form a nice domed shape of foliage. You know, it's quite a neat shape that it forms. And then you're going to get these tall stems rising up out the top with these bright red blooms on there. Now, they form clumps, which means that you can actually lift and divide those clumps later on. You know, not this year, obviously, but, you know, in later years, once those clumps get a bit bigger, you'll be able to lift and divide those probably in about autumn time, which then gives you free plants. And you're getting 3 9-centimetre pots here. And I know full well that these are incredibly rooty. Do you want to get one of those out?
Okay,
or do you want me to do that for you?
Let's pick. You can do it because it's your thing.
All right.
But let's keep it random.
Yeah.
Give me a number between 1 and 3.
1.
That feels like a number 1.
Okay, go for it. It's at the front. Let's do it.
I don't know.
Let's have a little look, shall we? It's a rooty beauty for sure. So these, although they don't look like much overground right now, they are doing exactly what they should be doing underground and forming that lovely, strong base there, which means you're going to get a beautiful plant later this year. You will get flowers this year. It will get bigger and better as the years go along as well, and you will get multiple flowers. They flower for a really long time as well. So normal season, they can start sort of late springtime, sort of April, May, and then they can go right the way through the summer into probably September and October. You do need to keep on top of your deadheading though, so make sure you deadhead, and that'll encourage more flowers to come through.
Now, if you're brand new, whatever you want to order, they all have an item number. This one, for example, is 561219. And then you'll get that huge saving of £19 off, even more if you're in the club, right?
Yes, yes.
Another 15, and it used to be 10. Another 15% off down to 16.97. Anybody can be in the club, right? You may be shopping with YouGarden for a million years, or the very first time right now. Or right now you're like, I've got this leaflet.
What's this?
What's this? And by the way, I used to love in the magazines or like the Sunday supplement, those shop at home, help leaflets.
Yeah.
Like the array of products in those. I always remember the classic one was like things you strap, a bit like skis you strap on your shoes, but not quite as long. They had spikes, and you would go and
aerate your lawn.
Aerate your lawn.
Yes.
Have you got any of those?
Yes.
They were in there all the time, so clearly hugely popular, weren't they?
Yeah, they're really good, because you can just walk along your lawn then and aerate
exactly.
it. It's really good.
Lots to do with your feet, actually, like things you can slip your feet into to keep them warm.
Yeah.
They were all in there, weren't they? Also, like different blankets.
Very handy little things, yeah.
Really handy little things. I think they were great. All in a leaflet back in the day.
There you go.
Do people still? Well, obviously, people still do.
Obviously, yes, people do.
Do people still do that?
Yes. Yes, they do.
We do. Okay, good stuff. What we do, 561219 for all things fire starter. We will come back to that, of course we will. But if you want to get ahead of us, YouGarden.com on the website. That's where you can see the whole show lineup. But to get free P&P, Bex,
yes,
we want to shop the YouGarden potting shed side of things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that you can see in this section, in this section here. So click on the live now, wherever that might appear on your screen. Scroll down. These are the items that we've selected for the YG TV show, and these are the ones that have got the free postage on. Unfortunately, if you shop the rest of the website, you will have postage attached to it, but that's why we're giving you free postage on these items, so that you can fill your basket with free postage. And we've got so many different things. We've got stuff for contrast. We've got perennials. We've got, we've got shrub. We've got boxes coming up for you. Oh yeah, we've got the 300 bulb.
No, we didn't even see that on Thursday.
I know. This is brilliant. It's only £14.99. I think it works out at 4 pence a bulb for club members, and it's going to give you probably 4 or 5 months worth of flowering this year, and then they're perennial, so they'll come back for you next year. And they will dispatch from tomorrow. So yeah, you can get those in your basket now, and they will be dispatched along with your other items.
Isn't it mad? You can probably beat any other providers, in my opinion, because of how quickly it'll come to you, the sheer variety you've got. But you also beat internally the YouGarden system, because of course if you go on the normal website, you can shop all sorts, furniture, tools, other flowers, etc. But that lineup is because they're ready to go ASAP. They're ready for this time of year, and with that code YGTV0725. You will get free P&P on those. The compost is coming up. The heavy-duty pots are back in stock for you.
They've been so popular this week.
Because they're so useful. You'll find out all about it in the show. But nevertheless, if you want to see anything on that lineup that we haven't spoken about yet, that's where the comments coming in. Absolutely,
and loads of comments coming in. So Verna's in. Elaine says she's good. She says, yes, I'm all good. Thanks, Beck. So we're glad to hear that. Grimmy is in. Grimmy's in Scotland, isn't he? I am saying that right. No, have I got that wrong?
Yorkshire.
Grimmy's Yorkshire. Who is it that's in Scotland?
Grimmy, whereabouts in Yorkshire?
Oh, Bill, yes, I can see it, because
Scotland.
Bill's saying, morning all from rainy Scotland. He's saying good morning. So Ruth's in, they're all talking to each other. Malcolm, hello, welcome, Malcolm. Thanks for joining the comments. And Simon's becoming a regular again, so he's in and chatting as well.
Hello, Simon.
So lots and lots of people. And Stu is listening, or watching, I should say, the Facebook chat. So Rhiannon is in on the Facebook chat as well. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. We've got lots to show you.
I love people. Now, obviously, don't give us your full address, but I love hearing exactly where people are from.
No, we always say it because we like getting the weather reports.
Yeah.
We like getting weather reports from around the country, so we always ask for the weather reports. I was telling Dan this morning that next week, I haven't checked the entire country, but next week is looking...
Sunglasses out, shorts on next week.
It's really starting to warm up next week. We've got, here, we've got a 14-degree day happening next week.
Yes.
And I am so thrilled for that.
Ready for it.
I'm so ready for it.
I'm so sick of sleeping with 1,000 layers. Like, you lie on your back and you've got to put your hoodie over your head because it's too much on your neck when you're sleeping in a hoodie. Bad times.
I've got my socks, my duvet. I've got one of those big weighted blankets that goes over the top as well. I can't wait to.
When you wake up and you're too hot and you're like, got to get it on. Like, trying to get your socks off when you're half asleep. Can't be bothered. I'll just lie here drenched.
Stick my leg out.
Yeah, I need to do that.
You just stick your leg out the side.
That's what I'll do.
There you go.
Maybe too much information. Who knows? But yeah, let's know more locally where you are geographically. Maybe was it Grimmy in Yorkshire?
Yes.
Now Yorkshire's massive. I appreciate, but all my family are from Yorkshire, Grimmy. So I'd love to hear maybe a bit more, even just west, north, south, I don't know. Nevertheless. Should we talk gardenias?
Oh, yes, please.
And I've got a picture. Coming in, right?
Yeah,
here we go.
I've got a picture to show you, which Alison has sent us, so I'll bring that one in for you in a sec. But gardenia, this is the Climbs Hardy. Now, we've done a triple pack of these in the past, smaller ones, but this one we've brought to you on its own because this one is way more established. This comes in the 2-litre pot. It is, I love the glossy leaves on here. It's evergreen, of course, so you have that foliage all year round. And I love the glossy foliage that you get on this one. But it's about the flowers here. Okay. It's about those beautiful, pure white flowers and the scent that they create. Now, gardenia is it's a base for a lot of perfumes, in actual fact, because it is so super scented. It's got this lovely, sweet scent to it. And these are going to flower for you right in the height of summer, so June, July, August into September. And I do want you to plant these where you're going to be able to appreciate them most, because the scent from them really is divine. They're really easy to grow as well. They're fully winter hardy, so you don't need to do anything to them other than plant them and enjoy them. They are, as I say, evergreen, winter hardy. They want to be in a sunny spot, but can actually cope in a part shady spot as well. And they're just beautifully crafted. They grow into a really sort of neat dome shape. You don't need to do much by way of pruning at all, if any, actually. And they stay really nice and compact. So they should only get to about 60 by 60 centimetres, so a couple of feet height, couple of feet spread.
Okay.
And this is the sort of plant where actually I think this will fit for those smaller spaces in the gardens. So if you've got the patio, for example, or the balcony, this is the plant for somebody in that smaller space or smaller garden. But likewise, if you've got a larger garden, it'll fit into your borders or into your pots as well. So this is about the gardening for everyone.
Love that. Perfect. Give you guys remember 510530. You just heard that Simon's been in touch.
Yes.
About keeping warm at night.
Right.
He has 3 fluffy hot water bottles.
Okay.
By that he means his dogs.
Ah,
keep him nice and warm.
Yeah, no, perfect. We will have the dogs on. No, my husband won't let the dogs on the bed.
Not yet?
He's never liked it. So when he goes away, I have the dogs on the bed. But the
when
puppy,
he goes away, she just sends him away every now and again.
He works away. It's fine.
Oh, yes.
No, the puppy hasn't. He can't get through the night yet without making a mess somewhere. So they have to sleep downstairs.
Me neither.
But no, they've got used to it. Stu's saying that must be really confusing for the dogs. No, they've got used to it. They do understand that when Kev's away, they can come and sleep on the bed. Yeah, they're really happy about him going away.
They will absolutely
but
know.
then when he's at home, they go straight to their beds. They understand.
So you're happy with him on the bed?
Yeah, I love it.
They're like absolutely just dead weight?
No, I love it.
Yeah?
I love it.
I think, like, you'll know if you've got dogs, like, trying to... Wherever they lie, like, obviously then if you want to roll over and take the blanket with you, the blanket just doesn't move, does it? They could be the smallest dog. I think they're so heavy. So you're like, you move and the blanket stays where it is. So you're trying to get a little bit more snuggly and it's like, all of a sudden my dog can't move at all.
No, I'm all right with it. I'd have all the dogs on the bed. Can I show Alison's picture, please?
Oh, yes.
Because she sent a wonderful picture of her gardenia, the Climbs Hardy, perfectly labelled. Alison's so good at labelling all her plants. It's such neat handwriting as well. But look, she's got it in, I'm assuming that is one of our heavy-duty pots, isn't it? Yes, it is. Just looking at the handle there. So it's in one of our heavy-duty pots, and that, by the way, is a 30-litre pot. It's a 40 centimetre diameter.
I'm going to grab it if I can to give some...
40 centimetre diameter,
Give some perspective to that.
I don't think Alison said when she bought it, but you can see how that has filled out really nicely.
So, as you can see, so that is the pot we believe, right? It's in there.
Yeah.
So that has filled out huge, isn't it?
Let me just go back to the email to see when she
and
said
that is the heavy-duty pots, by the way, that are in stock on the show. Just over £16 to my memory. But that's how big they... Well, obviously, depending where you plant them, because it could be in the ground and get even bigger. But
yeah.
Nevertheless. Right.
No, it's perfect. Thank you for that, Alison. Thanks for sending the picture. Love you to get hold of your gardenia. That's gorgeous. And it's hardy, remember. It's a hardy gardenia, down to -10 that can cope with.
We were wondering, Alison, what, if you want to share this information or not, what do you do as a job, or maybe what did you do as a job? Because with your photographs, everything's so neat and labelled and lovely handwriting.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe you've always done it.
Yeah.
But was that part of like a occupation thing that made that at home?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Alison, let us know if you fancy sharing, of course.
She'd be like, can't, it was MI5.
It's top secret.
And if you don't tell us, Alison, that's
oh my
what I'll
word,
presume.
Dingo's been in touch.
Dingo?
Dingo's been in touch,
Yep.
so I like this. He says, morning, Bex, and question mark. This is Dan.
I know. I completely was fair.
He said, I got my YouGarden deliveries this week, and the flame lily rhizomes are a lot bigger than the last ones. Cheers, Dingo. So he sent in a picture of the bags of the flame lilies. Now, Dingo did a really good job of growing these last year, so he's obviously got some more. And yeah, those are looking really good, aren't they? And just want to show you the next picture, because here's his other delivery that he got.
Oh!
Check this out.
These are cool.
He went mad on the Prisma pots. Look at all of those beautiful pink Prisma pots just waiting. What are you going to plant in those, Dingo? Let's have a look at Dingo's flame lilies last year. Yes, please.
Oh, wow.
Look at those.
Hang on, is that a bar?
Yeah, he's got a bar in his garden.
Look
yeah, Grimmy's got one as well.
What's he got on there? Are they ales? I see an IPA.
I love that you're looking at the beers and not the flowers.
Gentleman Jack. I just like seeing what people are...
Drinking.
This is like unique stuff, isn't it?
I know, it's
Golden
amazing.
Ale. Proper job down the bottom there. Oh, that's so exciting. It feels like I've been on holiday, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So there you go.
Very
Thank you for those
impressed by
pictures,
that.
everybody.
I love those. So, that is the gardenia. That is what's on the screen. A couple of pounds off for you. A couple even more pounds coming off, of course, if you're in the club. Azalea is coming up next. Now, I wonder, Bex, I know you can introduce us to it entirely. This is one of the sets of threes. And there's lots of sets of threes available for you.
There are, yes.
When I'm getting 3 of something, am I then encouraged to pop them all sort of in the same kind of spot? Or do I do 3 separate plants or whatever I want?
To be honest, that's entirely up to you and the way that you want to design your garden. Now, there is this thing when you're designing and you're planting that you would plant in 3s, whether that's separately or in a cluster together.
Yes.
The reason being that you get a much more natural looking shape and design from it. So if you planted 2 next to each other, it's a bit too uniform, whereas if you planted 3, it creates a much more sort of natural shape and design.
Okay.
Or if you plant them separately but in odd numbers, it looks more organic and more natural if it's in an odd number rather than when it's in a pair.
Okay.
However, pairs work in certain circumstances.
Like
the Buxus or the standards, where you're bookending, you're doing something either side of.
Okay.
But when it comes to something like this that you're going to plant into your borders or maybe into pots, that you just get a more natural, it's more pleasing on the eye to plant in odd numbers. Not necessarily just 3s, but you know, it could be 5s or 7s.
Okay.
But that's how it works in garden design terms, basically.
Well, that's wonderfully explained to me.
Thank
you so much. Now then, we think we've got 2 Rhiannons, by the way. So hello, Rhiannon, watching on Facebook and one on YouTube. So Rhiannon on YouTube is asking about that her standard has just arrived and she wants to plant it.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. Rhiannon, let us know what standard it is and we will give you more advice on maybe where or when or how.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just scrolling through. Loads of chats coming in. It apparently just says, receive my standard. I need to know which one it is, and then we can help you.
That's what we're here for. We are live this Sunday after all. Was it just after nearly 10 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Caroline said I had a leaflet in my order that came yesterday that says there's a free gift in every order. Oh, I'm so sorry, Caroline. It was printed before, so I'm so sorry. What we have done is given free postage on everything. So we still do free gifts with certain items within the potting shed. So the gift will always be complementary to the product. So for example, we've got our roses coming up in a little while, and you get a big bag of rose bloom booster instead. So the free gift basically is that you get free P&P on every single order, whereas before it used to have to be you get your basket to over £40. So really, yes, it was just done way before basically. So
for example, we've got buy one get one on the poppies, haven't we?
Yes.
That's kind of the extra gifts, if you like, are popping up here and there.
I think it works out for nearly everybody, basically, better value what we have done with the potting shed now rather than what we were doing previously.
What are you saying, Stu?
Join the club.
If you join the club and then you shop with us, YouGarden TV, there is no better way of shopping with YouGarden because, of course, you could. And here's the thing: the azalea is on Potting Shed YouGarden TV and it's on YouGarden.com. But if you go on YouGarden.com and click on the live bit and you shop via our selection and use the code YGTV0725, that has free P&P. If you shop for it outside of the TV side of things, still on the same YouGarden.com website, there'll be P&P attached. Which is fair enough because it's got to get packaged up, it's got to get sent to you, and there's lots of attention paid to how these are sent out to you. After all, we'll talk about it later on. But nevertheless, just by shopping through the TV side of things, free P&P.
Yes, free
with
postage.
With the code. For example, there's that bulb selection we were talking about before, $6.99 delivery. So your total order there at $21.95. You could always save by joining the club. The club is website wide, but the code then tells us you've got the code through the TV side of things, YGTV0725, and the P&P goes down to 0.
I like that. I like free postage. That's my favourite thing, to get free postage. And you can come back in and shop multiple times during the 3 hours that we're here. So if you see it and you like it, place your order. And then if you see something else an hour later, place your order. There's no downside as far as you're concerned because there's no extra postage
I get
to
it
pay.
when it used to be like, £30 or £40.
Yeah, not everybody can spend £40 every week.
Yeah, I get it, completely. But you try and beat the system, wouldn't you, and put it all in one basket, and then you get there and you're like, yes. Now, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Which is wonderful. Rightio, that was the azalea. It's on the screen, 511502. Choice here is coming up next.
And this is a good choice here.
Yeah? It's a good choice, yeah. OK, we move on.
All right, so this is a fantastic choice here, honestly. It's called White Dazzler. It's called White Dazzler. And there's a few different varieties of choice here that you can get. I quite like this one because of the foliage, first of all, that you get on here. I really quite like that sort of fine foliage that you can see on there. But the reason we want choice here in our gardens is for several reasons. First of all, it's completely winter hardy. You don't need to give it any extra winter protection at all. Secondly, you get these amazing flowers that appear on here in springtime, April and May, and it is what we would class as a profusion of flowers. It really does cover that shrub, and the fragrance is delightful. It's often known as the Mexican orange blossom because it has a lovely sort of sweet citrus scent to it. Pollinators do quite like this one too. It's got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. Tends to grow in a really nice neat shape as well, so barely any pruning required. You'll occasionally get one weird little straggly stem that comes out, so just trim that off. But in the general, it grows in a really nice neat shape. So we've got winter hardy. Oh, I didn't say evergreen, did I? It's evergreen.
Okay.
So you don't need to think about dotting in some evergreen plants around it. This one is already evergreen. So if you've got a few deciduous plants in your garden, great to add in a few of those evergreen ones there. It doesn't get massive either. We're only talking maybe a metre. Yeah, probably a metre height and spread here once it really gets going as well. But it doesn't grow too quick. So another one that's really good for smaller spaces.
Limit that in a smaller pot?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can pretty much limit the size that most things grow to by limiting the size of pot that you put them in.
Because at the start you were talking about maybe you haven't got a garden.
Yeah.
But you've got a balcony, but you've got a patio, something like that.
Absolutely.
A little bit of outdoor space, maybe by the front door, for example. And you don't want something...
massive.
Even though a metre isn't too big compared to what you could get. So I could have like... Okay.
Yeah, and on a patio or a balcony, this would work great. It does kind of want to be in a more sunny position, but if it was part shade, I don't think it would matter too much. It would be absolutely fine. This is all about getting something for year-round interest, isn't it? You know, this is why we want evergreen plants in our garden, to have that year-round interest. But to get one that gives you a profusion of scented flowers in springtime and invites those pollinators into your garden, I think that's a really, really good one. And you can sort of create a low hedge with this as well. If you were to get multiples of them, they would grow really nicely into each other. They grow quite dense as well, so you know it would work nicely as a sort of lower hedge too.
Love it. There we go.
Yeah.
And smells already, even though it's not flowered yet.
Yeah, you said there is a scent to it, isn't there? I mean, the flowers. Yeah, you really can. With the flowers, when they come through, though, you'll be delighted with the scent of those.
So if you want to get hold of yours, again, the items on the screen, 511002. Only $12.74. You haven't got to wait till the end. Wait till halfway at the top of the hour. You can check out, as you were saying earlier, Rebecca.
Yes, indeed.
Check out as you go, if you want. Or put them all in one big basket, whatever you want. There are thousands of them out there. Not everything lasts forever, obviously, so the sooner you check out your basket, you'll get the offer. Deals can change. But $12.74 and use the code after all. That is your choice here. Should we continue on?
Yes.
Hellebore.
Double Ellen Red. Okay, so this plant is for your winter garden.
Okay. Because,
as you can see, this is in flower right now, and I absolutely adore these flowers. Just check those out. Aren't they? In fact, it kind of matches my nail polish.
What's the colour of your nail polish?
I have no idea.
Mauvey, blushy.
I don't know what it's called, but it's a blush, isn't it? It's lovely.
Beautifully done.
That's just a gorgeous colour that you get on here. Now, winter
gardens. Do you do
gardens.
your own nails, or do you go to someone?
No, I do it myself. It's cheaper.
And you got the skills.
Got more money to pay to buy plants with them.
That's how I do it.
That's how I do it. Yeah, so the colour of these is absolutely delightful, and I think they work great if you're going to plant them in your garden amongst maybe your other hellebores. You know, we were doing those lovely Christmas carol ones back at the end of last year, or maybe to pair up with where your snowdrops are coming through, because they will be flowering at the same time, and you get that lovely contrast. Winter hardy, really nice early flowering. They'll be flowering February, March, and into April for you. They form clumps. You can lift and divide them in later years, and I just love the fact that we've got something that will flower in the worst months of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, the tricky months, the coldest, the dullest. You know, we often talk about how snowdrops are really brave little bulbs to pop their heads up, you know, through when it's frosty.
I think every year they forget.
Oh no! It's cold out here. They're brave bulbs, aren't they, to do that? And it's the same for hellebores. Really big, showy flowers that you get on there.
But they're the real signs for me that spring is round the corner. Daffodils, for example. I wonder if your daffodils are actually flowering yet. There's certainly the shoots are there, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They're starting to pop up. They're beautiful. And these stay evergreen as well, by the way. So you will have foliage all the way through the year. They go a bit quieter during the summer months, but then they're so reliable. Make sure you've got them planted in a dappled shade spot or you know, under shrubs and that sort of thing. That'll really help.
Yeah, there we go. There's your hellebore, which is the most Norfolk saying, by the way, hellebore.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that hella boring? Like boring?
No. It's because, like, and I grew up in Norfolk, so I feel like I can say, because of the accent,
right? They
call a lot of people like boys like bore.
Oh, really?
Like bore?
All right, bore.
Hellebore.
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 Oh, there you go.
If you're in Norfolk and, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we used to have, like, I used to work for Channel 9 in Norfolk, and we had a T-shirt that said hellebore.
Really?
Yeah. It's like the local dialect, local slang, like a real nod to.
Well, there you go.
That's what I always think about that.
Let us know if you're in Norfolk and you know what he's talking about.
Are you in Durham? You in Swaffham? Where are you? What does that do? You in Durham?
I've been to Durham and back again.
Durham
back again.
I don't get it.
I've been Durham back again.
Durham. Ah, it's a great game, is it?
It's not so good if you have to explain it, though, is it?
Which is exactly what you've got to do.
Moving on.
Good old A47. Okay, 560968. Right, a little recap for you. I know a lot of you are asking about the compost and the heavy-duty pots. Are they back? Yes, they are. We're going to come to it next. But let me just recap where we've been so far. The GM, the fire starter, is in stock. Little crackers these, aren't they? 561219. You get 3 in the 9cm pots. These pots, by the way, let me just double check. Here we go. These are the new beige pots. They will arrive in there. So they're being brought in, and if they are beige, it gets delivered to you, which eventually they all will be. They are recyclable. So if you, I know a lot of you keep them, but if you wish to recycle the beige pots, you can. It's in your normal recycling bin. 1997. The year I was born. That's not true. Discount price $16.97. A withering look from Bex there. 510530. What's next, you? Oh yes, the Gardenia, we're on it now. Look, there you go. This is the larger one in the 2 litre for you, $15.29 in the club. Not forgetting club members, it's £10 to join the club. If you auto renew, it will always be £10 annually to join the club, and then you'll be saving a 15% off pretty much everything. 510530 if you haven't got your Jasminoid yet. Azalea was the third. We came to another set of 3 here. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Really striking, iconic flowers, aren't they? That looks like a fire orange there. And half price, basically. £10 off, down to $16.97. So it's club price I'm referring to, being nearly about £2, half price. 511502 to get your 3. And the White Dazzler. The choice here, the one Rebecca absolutely adores, as you do too. Perfect to order right now. That's why it's on the show lineup, 511002. And the Hellebore Double Ellen's, one of the best sellers as of last week, so we're holding that price for another week for you. Free P&P, but do use the code YGTV0725. That is the code. Your item number to get the Ellen is 560968. Quick heads up, by the way, we didn't show you this live Thursday. We'll do our best to get to it here. But 7 varieties, 300 bulbs. It's like pence per bulb. 630130. Bex, if I can bring you in here, a wonderful variety.
An excellent variety, yeah. Probably 5 months worth of colour going on here. So you've got your freesias included in there. Lovely colour mix and fragrance. We've got gladioli in there. Those lovely tall flowers reaching about 1 metre in height. We've got a Liatris spicata. I think these are really unusual. They flower from the top down, which is quite unusual. We've got our oxalis. This is the new one that's been added in here. It's called Iron Cross. We've got the Accidenthera. I would plant these with the Liatris spicata because I think those two are a really good combination. We've got Allium Molly. Those are nice shorter ones reaching about 30 centimetres. Lovely flowers. The Brody ear in those mixtures of those lilacs and purples and whites. Those are like a carpet of colour. And then we're back to the freesias again. So 7 varieties, multiple different, shades of colours. You've got height, you've got drama, you've got perennials in there. They'll come back for you. You can plant them in borders, you can plant them in pots. I love it. We did a spring flowering bulb collection. It was really, really popular. And this is along a similar vein, but obviously this is your summer flowering bulbs. And I was thinking about this because Dan and I go to the same gym. Dan's been going a lot longer than me, though.
I do nothing. You've seen me the last few times. Just sitting on machines. Hi, Bex.
Hi. But I was actually thinking about it. Like, everyone wants that bikini body, don't they? But your bikini body is made in winter. You can't start in summer and get that. And it's the same for your summer garden. You need to start your summer garden in winter and in springtime for it to look that good. And that's why you need to get on these sorts of things now. Get it planted. Great. That's a really good analogy. Thank you. Emily, last night, we're on holiday in May, and she was like, I want to get in shape and toned up for May. She's like, when should I start? Last year. And I was like, 6 months ago. You've got to tread carefully sometimes. I was like... I hope she's not watching. She might be. Morning, Emily. Morning. You look amazing. I hope you're still in bed. Have a lovely lie-in, why not? Who knows, but nevertheless. So to get hold of yours, you can see there 300. Now, the 7 varieties, are they labelled up? Like yeah, they all come in there. We'll show you in a little while, I'm sure we'll get it out. But yes, they all come in their individual bags, so you know which one is which. Okay. Yeah, and it's really important, because obviously, if you just know to jumble off them, you just have to throw them in. Well, yeah, someone like me doesn't know anything about anything. I'd be like, I've heard what you said to group things together. There are some collections we do that are all in one bag, but this one is individually bagged. bags so you know exactly which one is which. And then if you need to, you can then go onto the website and have a look at the individual varieties so that you know the heights and
I like the idea of just sowing them out and just see what happens.
See what happens.
Like,
Wild
don't worry
flower.
about it. Yeah. 630-130. Now then, friends. The #1 bestseller in the history of all things YouGarden. Over 500 5-star reviews on one product alone. You're in very good company. Why is this compost so special?
Do you know what?
Where do I start?
Where do I start? But in the simplest terms, it works. It absolutely gives you the results that you want to get from your garden. It's called Premium Professional Compost for a reason, because it is made with premium ingredients, and it's a professional compost that we use here at the nursery, that we've used for years. Anything we grow, anything we pot on. Grab one of those hellebores for me, will you, Dan, please?
I will.
Anything that we grow and pot on here is in that compost. I can see our compost in this pot here. There'll be multiple plants that you'll see that have got this compost. Our pre-made hanging baskets, we'll be bringing them to you very soon. They have all been grown in this. Bare root roses, they all go in this. Those hydrangeas that we just potted up, the bare root hydrangeas that we just potted up, those are all in this compost as well. The ingredients are a really specially, carefully blended selection of ingredients. So there is peat in here, reduced peat content. We've got 3 different types of peat. There's dark and white peat, and there's also sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable source. But we actually reduced the amount of peat in this years ago, long before we had to. And we've replaced that with composted wood fibre. Now, the composted wood fibre, you can see, that gives it this lovely, light, airy, you know, just, it's unlike any texture that you've experienced before with other composts, that's what I would say. And what that does is it allows roots to be able to grow. It gives them space, it gives them access to oxygen, which is really important. Strong roots, strong plants. There you go. You'll get more flowers, more fruits, they will just be better. And that's what you get from a really nice, loose, open texture. The composted wood fibre also helps to hold on to moisture. It allows for even water distribution, which is really important for all plants. But if you're thinking about like seed sowing and things, which a lot of people will be doing right now, it's brilliant for that. We've got a pH buffer in here, which puts it in the right place for the majority of things you're going to plant in your garden, and for repotting your house plants as well. There's a few exceptions, your ericaceous loving ones, you know, they're going to want your ericaceous compost, like the azaleas that we had on the favourites table there. They need ericaceous. So the majority of things you're planting in your garden are going to absolutely adore this.
If I'm planting in a pot,
yes,
am I using 100% compost in that pot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, simple as that, or like a trug like you saw,
I know some people mix it up, and it's entirely up to you. You can do, but my recommendation is just use this, because it's been specially blended, carefully crafted to give your plants the best start, but also then the best continued life. So yeah, if I'm potting something up fresh, this is what I'm using. If I'm top dressing my pots, so if I'm, it's an existing pot, but it's been there for 2-3 years. I need to replenish what's in there. You take out the top layer, you add some new stuff in. I'll be using all of this.
Okay, what about in the ground?
Yeah, so everybody, when you're planting something, I would always dig a slightly larger hole than is necessary, and I would mix a good amount of this into the hole, particularly in my garden because I've got clay soil, but I would recommend this for every garden, because then where you plant it, the roots have instantly got access to the best quality materials. And I know a lot of people buy the cheap compost from the local supermarket, but there is a saying of buy cheap and buy twice, you know, and it is so true with so many different things, but particularly when it comes to compost. And I want to feed my plants the absolute best thing I can feed them. I spend a lot of money on plants. I love them. I want them to do well. It's like feeding my kids. I know I feed them a bit of junk every now and then, but I try and get some good stuff in them too.
Of course.
I want them to be as happy and healthy as they can possibly be, and I feel exactly the same way about my plants. I'm not going to waste my time on rubbish compost, because I want all those flowers in the summer. I want all those fruits that I'm trying to grow.
Sometimes you can just tell, like, you know, like when you go to a restaurant and it's not ketchup.
Restaurant. yeah.
Restaurant. You know when you get not Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And you know it's not, and it doesn't taste the same or what you expect it to be. I imagine, like, as a plant, you'd be like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I've got like the best one, the real stuff, like what the growers, the professionals use, rather than, oh no, I'm in this
cheap
place
alternative.
Yeah, which I get, and it's worth hence why I think it's like 550 5-star reviews. Some span way back, some are from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So it's returning customers all the time, and you get 100 litres, so 2 50-litre bags, free P&P for $21.23.
Join the club.
Join the club.
Do join the club, because on purchases like your compost, and it costs you £10 to join the club. We'll go into the details later, but you get 15% discount off everything that you buy. And particularly when you think about it just in relation to compost, how much is that? That's like £2.50, thereabouts, £2.70 or something or other. You only have to buy compost 3 or 4 times in order to earn your money of your club membership back, and then you're just winning all the way from there for the next 12 months.
I'd like to think you're not just ordering compost, are you?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Away you go. 100-125. You're incredibly good company. Heavy duty pots, we spoke about them a second ago over there, but they are back in stock. Over 4,000 went in a week earlier in this year.
Yeah.
They are back right now, and you're getting 4 for just, there you go, $16.99. That's it. And Bex, I mean, this is the longest answer potentially. Like, what do we use our heavy duty pots for?
So many things. I mean, we're giving you an idea here in Sean's garden. He's grown his tomatoes in there, and he's got his Christmas trees planted in there. I've grown tomatoes, strawberries, roses, cordylines, all sorts. So you can pretty much grow anything in there. It can be a temporary home for plants like this euonymus here. I stack all of my gardening equipment in one of them in the shed. So every time I go into the shed, I just grab my heavy duty pot, take it out into the garden. When I'm deadheading, all the deadheads go in there. I will be using mine later on in the year for a temporary home for plants that I intend to take to my new home when I buy one. Decanting your compost into there to make potting up jobs much easier. There we go, deadheading or garden waste, storing things in there. Log storage, if you've got a wood burner, carrying them in and out. They have moulded handles, so these don't break. Sean's had his, he reckons, about 15 years and never broken one.
Yep.
I think my oldest is about 8 or 9 years old, never broken one. They are tough, they're durable, and they're professional planting pots. You'll find, you go to garden centres and nurseries and you're buying a big tree or something or other, you'll see them in these because they've got the drainage holes in the bottom, but they've also got these really large drainage holes all the way around the sides as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them around the side. And that means that there's extra spaces for all that water to drain away, particularly on those days when we've got really heavy rainfall and maybe the bottom holes have got a little bit clogged up.
Yep.
Your plants will hate sitting in water. Most of them would prefer to be on the slightly dry side than on the slightly... They can recover quicker from being dry than they can from being completely
I didn't know that.
soaked.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, the roots will rot if they're too wet. So it's really important to have that extra drainage, and that's what you've got here. It's one of the most useful things you'll buy. And if you do that lovely thing that I do with shopping, where you break things down by just an item of clothing, for example, so price per wear or price per use. When you break that down to how many times you're going to use this, all of a sudden you realise how good value these are. And you'll buy a pack of 4 and you'll come back and you'll get more because you'll find out how good they are.
£4.25 a pot.
Yeah, brilliant.
Free
And you'll have them
P&P.
for years.
You will.
Yes.
How useful is that? 130011. I had that exact same conversation recently because it's half term now, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, where we are.
Yes,
and
it
Barnes
is
came
gonna
back with his PE kit because they've been told to check that their shoes still fit, their PE shoes.
Right.
And I didn't even recognise those shoes because in PE now they just have cotton feet.
Right.
They don't wear their shoes. So I was like, why have we got to buy more trainers? He's never used them. And I was like, he's never... Price per wear of those trainers.
Yeah, really
I was
expensive.
like, squeeze your feet in there, Barney.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Anyway, right, heavy duty pots 130011. Okay, friends, we've got a lot to show you walking this way, but let's give you a chance to check out your baskets on the website YouGarden.com. We talk a lot about joining the club. Here's everything you need to know about joining the club, and here's how you join the club.
If you love your garden as much as we love ours, then why not join the YouGarden Discount Club?
The club has been running for many years, and it's where thousands of our customers enjoy a whole host of benefits to ensure that they get the most out of their gardens for less.
Now is a great time to join the YouGarden Discount Club as the benefits have just got even better. So what do you get when you join the club?
Firstly, our members will get bigger discount rates all year round. So you'll now receive 15% off our range of plants and accessories, and that's on top of any other discounts you might have.
For those bigger investments such as garden furniture or lawnmowers, for example, you now get 7.5% discount on all of our outdoor living and machinery range.
In addition to the ongoing discounts, you'll also get more voucher value when you join or renew your club membership. We will send you 4 £5 product vouchers, which you can redeem throughout the year against the cost of your orders.
And as a new added benefit, you will now receive 2 free P&P vouchers, which can be redeemed against the cost of your shipping.
Club members get priority access to exclusive offers and brand new products at our best prices.
We'll keep you up to date with fantastic advice and top tips from our grown experts and professional gardeners to make sure that you get the most from your new purchases and existing plants. The best way to join the club is with our auto-renewal subscription. You'll pay £10 per year, then at the end of the year we will automatically renew your membership to ensure you retain all of your benefits. Plus, the price you pay when you join will never go up for as long as you remain a member, and that's a guarantee.
And remember, when you join the club, you will start saving from the very first order you make, as the discounts will be applied immediately. So with all that the YouGarden Discount Club has to offer, why not join us and start saving today?
We'd love to help you make the most of your garden for less with the YouGarden Discount Club.
The lovely Sean Wright. When is he back from his holiday?
This week. So he'll be back in here on Thursday, actually. I think he's back this week.
I know he's been cruising. Must have been somewhere sunny to get
I have no idea. I get jealous, so I don't even ask him.
Yeah.
He's not going to tan.
Not with his complexion.
Not with his complexion. I would say that to his face. He says it himself. I'm not being mean. He says it himself. But yes, no, he'll be back on Thursday. If you're missing a bit of Sean Ryan, he'll be back.
Good stuff. You can keep up with him on Facebook. I know he posts lots on there. Now then, a whole new selection to talk about, and this we hinted at the very start. Buy one, get one free on the poppies. So you are getting 10 in total. You've got to use the code, right? Because it's one of those red box things. YGTV0725, you will get 10 of, Rebecca?
Yes, the Oriental Poppy collection. So that's just one bag. You will obviously get 2 of those.
Yep.
Now, Oriental poppies are fantastic for, just multiple flowers you get from these. Once they get established, you can get 20 to 30 flowers per plant. So just imagine that over 10 of these. A lovely mixture of colours included in there. They flower for probably, you get up to 6 weeks out of those flowers. And I just love... poppies, they mean something to us here, don't they?
Yes, they do.
We've obviously, they've got meaning when it comes to remembrance and things, and I just think they're really easy plants to grow. Herbaceous perennials, so they die back down over winter. They reliably come back for you every single year. Actually, after their flowering season, which is normally between sort of May and July time, after they've sort of gone over, if you chop them right back, you often get a second flush of flowers that come from these, which a lot of people didn't know.
They get really tall, don't they?
They can get to probably 70, 80, maybe even 90 centimetres in height, so up to anywhere between 2 and 3 feet in height, and just multiple flowers appearing on there. They die back down over the winter and they just pop back up again for you the next year. They're so easy. Pollinators adore them. They're easy. They've got that lovely cottage garden style feel to them, which I think is that I don't know, I've always fancied having a cottage garden style in the garden. I think it's quite desirable,
just
isn't it,
wild.
to have that? Yeah, a little bit wild. And you just instantly get that with poppies. Obviously, they will happily seed about and create other plants. Seed about. Create more plants for you. And you are getting an entirely free bag included as long as you enter that code. So you will get 10 of those bare roots. Very simple and easy to plant.
I'm not going to open it, but I can see that.
Yeah, so
there's some greenery in there, isn't there?
There is some greenery. You can see that there's some shoots starting to appear on those bare roots through the packets there. So all you need to do is give it a little soak. So take them out and you'll give them a little soak, only a couple of hours. They don't need long. And then you can plant those out. They're winter hardy, so they can go out now into the ground if you want to. If you want to start them off in pots and then plant them out in a month or so, you're welcome to do that as well. But they could easily go into the ground right now.
Here we go. That is buy one, get one free with the code YGTV0725. Your item number 580007. Who was that question from? Anne?
Anne.
Oh, the pink pots in the email?
Yes.
Are they a thing? Are they in stock?
Yeah, the pink Prisma round planters. Search for Prisma on YouGarden website and they will come up. They are £3.99 each. We think that what Dingo did there was go for one of those multi-packs, look, because there's a 10 pack. Stu's saying that works out to about £2 each. So yes, you can go onto the website and you can find those. They will have postage attached to them, won't they, Stu? Because they're not in the show. So they will have a postage cost, but if you're going to go for a multi-pack, I think you'd be fine.
Don't think it's necessarily changed.
Be all right to pay a bit of postage on that one, won't you? Or if you've just renewed your club membership or you've just joined the club, you'll have a couple of those postage vouchers that you could use.
Good point. There we go. 580007.
Yes, Millie, we have not received your email, bless you. She's saying sent an email to you, but not sure if you've received it, having trouble sending. It hasn't come through. So yes, keep trying. I'll keep checking the account to see.
YGTV at
YouGarden.com. That's correct, yes.
Bottom of the screen, Millie. We'd love to hear from you.
Neil, Elaine's probably going for what, sorry? Oh, she's got another offer she wants to buy.
Did she say what it is?
Okay, thanks, Stu. Oh, is it the azalea? Oh, azalea, hellebores, and some more bark. You've got all the bark, Elaine. I love it. Yeah, get some more bark. Absolutely.
All the bark.
Neil's got a question about Rudbeckia. Bex, my Rudbeckia Goldstrom's die back below the ground after flowering last year. Is that right? Yes, it is. Or do I need to buy new ones? No, you'll be fine, Neil. They will come back up. Mine sort of died down, but I left all the faded flowers on. And then once I start seeing new growth coming through, I'll trim back the old stuff. But yes, they are herbaceous, so they will come back.
Should we go to that next? I know it's jumping over one, but because we're talking about it. Go on then. So that was in the poppies. The Rudbeckia is what we were talking about. We will come back to the deal of the week in just a second, but this is what Neil's question was about, right?
Yeah, so as you can see with these, there's some growth coming through here, but look, there's loads going on underground, basically. So there's loads of roots and things going on underground with those. So it's happily just growing away in the ground at the moment, and then you're going to start seeing those lovely shoots starting to appear as an herbaceous perennial. They do die back down underground over winter time. And then if you had them last year, Neil, what you're going to find this year is that they're going to get even bigger and better. So this is what I got with mine. So first year, planted them as 9cm pots. They grew beautifully, had about 10, 12 flowers in the first year. And then second year, it was double the size. I reckon there was a good 25 to 30 flowers on them. So they create these lovely clumps. You're getting 3 of the 9cm pots. They're award winning. They've got the RHS Award of Garden Merit. So this is second year for mine.
Okay.
And you've got to see a few flowers open, but you can see how many buds there are waiting to open there. Let's go back in time, shall we? So that was what it looked like in the first year. And then in the second year, double the amount. What I call a transitional plant, because they're flowering when a lot of your summer flowers have started to go over and started to fade.
Right.
They start probably, in August, they'll start flowering. Bright sunshine, yellow colour that you get from them. But they keep going into sort of September and October as well, which is what I really enjoy about these. And even on a dull day, that bright yellow colour that you've got really sort of radiates and illuminates from your borders. Lovely clumps that will form here. No staking required at all. They're really robust. They look amazing en masse like that as well. So you are going to get 3 of them. You could plant these in a group together.
Yes.
That will then form a really
How far apart would you be?
Well, they're going to grow to about 60 by 60 centimetres, so you might want to bear that in mind. First year, obviously, there's going to be some gaps between them.
Yeah.
But second year, they'll start to get closer together. And third year, then they'll just mingle in and you'll have this great big display.
Mingling in.
Or you can dot them around. It's entirely up to you, but I love the fact that you're getting the 3 of those. Big favourite of mine. Absolutely adore that one. You need to get hold of those.
This saying Amanda's ordered more to add to the one she's already got.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that.
Bravo, Amanda. So Amanda knows, but if you don't know, the item number is 560076. That is the quick way of ordering. Of course, you could search by the word, couldn't you? The spelling, the word, whatever, but 560076 will pop that straight into your basket. Get free P&P. Pop the code in as well. Right, we're going to dash back one now to the Hybrid Tea Rose Bush Collection. One of the pick of the week here. Is it this one that has the freebie?
Yes, it is, and I've forgotten to put the freebie out. Where is it? I bet it's...
No. I just walked off, didn't I? Is it one of these? You got it?
It's the big bag. It's the big bag of the Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster.
It's not that, it's not that.
Where have we put it?
So it's...
Oh, here it is. I've got it. I've got it.
It's not that.
Sorry.
It's that.
It's that one.
Whopper.
So that is £14.99 on its own, because this is a 750-gram bag of the Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster. That is your free gift that comes with this particular item today, as well as the fact that you are going to get 5 of the bare roots. They're labelled so you can see all the different colours that you are getting. The tags show you the different colours. And once you unwrap... Out, just pricks myself with that one. You are going to get those 5 of those bare root rose bushes. Now, the reason to go for bare roots, first of all, is incredible value for money. £5 a rose bush, obviously less than that if you are in the club. You can still plant bare root roses. You can still plant any bare root. Bare root planting season, it lasts from, I mean, we go from sort of October right the way through to March, maybe even tickling into April as well. So you can still plant your bare root roses. You get great value for money. If you bought 5 individually potted roses, they can range from sort of $16.99, $19.99, $24.99 for a potted rose. You're paying $24.99 or less than that for all 5.
£15 of that is feed.
Exactly.
You're not paying for, so even the RRP then is excellent value for money.
Amazing, honestly. And what you get with this is hybrid teas. So hybrid tea versus Floribunda. Hybrid teas are the sort of long straight stems that you get with one flower at the end of it. A Floribunda would be clusters of flowers, clusters of roses at the end of the stems. Now, I like both, but the benefits of hybrid tea is that you have those lovely long straight stems, so they're great for cut flowers. They tend to be larger roses and they tend to be more fragrant than Floribundas. It's up to you which ones you go for, but those are the benefits of hybrid tea, obviously. They're winter hardy, they're easy to grow. You'll get flowers this year, they get bigger and better. They'll all get to slightly different sizes, but roughly we're talking 3 feet by 3 feet height and spread. And they are really easy. I avoided roses for so long because I think they had a bad reputation at being quite tricky to look after, and you've got to prune them in a certain way, and they struggle with all these diseases, and that's not the case anymore at all. They have been bred to be disease resistant now, so they're so much easier from that side of things than they used to be. And also what I've learned is that pruning roses, although there's some tips and tricks you can follow, actually they're so resilient it really doesn't matter.
So you could be brand new. Like maybe I'd be thinking, like, because there's specialist rose growers out there, right? So if I'm brand new, I'd be like, well, they must know what they're doing. Like,
there are certain things you can do to get bigger and better displays, but actually, if you're brand new to it, it's one of the most resilient things that you can make mistakes with. You can learn with this because you learn by making mistakes.
And here's how you shop right now. This is what we want everybody to do to get these home. You go on the website, YouGarden.com. If you want to get hold of it with the freebie, which is in there, £15 worth of booster, and to get 15% off, and to get free P&P, here's where you go. You ignore those 2 mugs, and then you go to here, best ever hybrid tea collection for you. Add it to your basket, and then you put in that code. Now, you haven't got to get the code, by the way, for the freebie. It'll happen automatically if you put in the code YGTV0725. Apply code now, club discount, free gift in, and the postage has gone. That is why we really want you to shop that way through YGTV. And I know you can go on the show page there where it says shop live and you can see them all there. The trick is just that promo code, right?
Excuse me.
The promo code tells us here that you're watching and shopping via YouGarden TV. That does everything. So, for example, that will get you buy one free on the poppies. That will get you the free gift here. That will get you free P&P across the board. And, of course, anybody can be in the club for the 15% off. So grab your item number, 530211, £5 off, £15 of stuff in, free P&P, 15% extra discount. That's a lot of reason to shop that way around, right?
A lot of reasons.
Phew, hope I covered that somewhat. 530211 is your item number. Now, dashing over to the black velvet.
Yeah, and I put these next to each other for a specific reason, because I think that Rudbeckia planted near your Formian black velvet.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, it's just a serving suggestion. There's lots of ways that you can create this contrast, but I just like this as a particularly beautiful contrast because the heights of them will work really nicely together, but then you've got that contrast of colour too. Phormium black velvet, I love a phormium. I just think, particularly this black velvet one, I mean, just check out the colours of it. The leaves that you've got on here, they are almost black, aren't they? And when you have that in your garden next to any of the brightly coloured flowers and things that even the bright greens, you're right, Stu, even the bright greens in your garden, the contrast you're going to get from that is going to be magical. And this is why you want these darker coloured foliage plants in your garden, because it's amazing the contrasting job that they will do. All of a sudden, everything just stands out even more. Not only, you know, the things you plant with it, but this plant stands out even more amongst all of those brighter coloured things in your garden. They're winter hardy down to probably -10, so most areas of the country absolutely fine. You're not going to need to give any sort of extra winter protection. They're evergreen, so you've got something there to look at, even on those dull, ever black, on those dull, dreary days. I like the way they arch. So they've got the leaves that look very much like a cordyline. You know, there's lovely sort of strong sword-shaped leaves, but these have a much more arching nature to them. You get, I mean, the blooms that you can get from these are quite amazing as well. They need to just get a bit more mature, but yes, you can get these lovely spikes of tubular red blooms on here. And this really fits into a lot of styles of gardening, but particularly if you're doing a sort of Mediterranean style planting
Yes, it
scheme.
does look like that, doesn't it?
It would work really, really well. So they like free draining soil. Try and avoid sort of cold, damp soil. I would probably struggle a little bit in my clay soil garden because it just doesn't drain too freely. But if you do have that problem, dig a really big hole, mix in some of our compost, make sure that that's the contact the plant has, you know, dig a really nice big, and it helps to loosen up that soil structure. So you can plant these in so many different gardens.
Here we go. Yeah, that contrast, as you like, it could be any plant next there. Now you've explained it. It could be that, imagine that in amongst the roses, or hellebores, for example, maybe a little bit smaller, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like any colour that you want to emphasise, you pop it on a darker background and it just explodes. But I like the height and say the architecture of it. It's different.
Beautiful.
That's what we want, a talking point, right?
Love phormiums.
511-518. Bowler Beauty.
Bowler Beauty, and she
Peonies.
really is a bowler beauty. For me, this peony looks like two flowers just happily sitting together. That yellow bit in the centre looks like a separate flower just sitting inside the other beautiful pink one there. Peonies are, I mean, they're magical. They're beautiful flowers. They are the kind that you look at and you think, that's going to be really hard to grow.
Yeah.
But actually it isn't. They are so easy. And what you're going to get in here is 3 bare roots, another bare root story for you. So with these, you are getting incredible value for money because you're starting them off from those bare roots. Incredibly strong and healthy bare roots that we're talking about here as well. Let me just grab another one for you so you can see. Look, really good shoots that are coming off there. You can see from the pink stems there. That's where that new growth is going to come through. Now, don't plant them too deep. Give them a little soak when you get them. Give them a couple of hours and don't plant them a couple of hours in some water, and then don't plant them too deep, just below the soil surface we're talking about. They can go straight in the ground now. And then this year, I'm hoping you will get some flowers. There is every chance you will get a few flowers this year. Next year, once they've established, that's when you get even more. And third year, oh, you'll have huge beauty.
They can probably, like I've experienced peonies, like they're proper. I think they're up there with people with roses as far as like an iconic flower. They're really soft. They're really feminine, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think, and obviously really iconic as well, and how they look. And I love your description of almost like a 2 flower in one. You've got the pink ruffled leaves around the edge, and then petals around the edge, and then it's almost like a really exotic. Like if it was just a yellow flower, you'd be like, oh, is it like a pom-pom, like something like that? But amazing that they're together.
It is, and these can get nice and big as well. I mean, these can get up to like 20 centimetre diameter. I mean, that's the size of a dinner plate, isn't it? 20 centimetre diameter, 7-8 inches size. I mean, they can be incredible. You do have to wait a little bit of time for them to get established. I hope you get flowers in the first year. You might get a handful, but second year, third year, and then for decades afterwards, because you look after a peony, right? It will reward you for decades. They're really, really long-lived. Full sun, part shade, they'll be absolutely fine. Just nice free draining soil. And they'll grow to about sort of 1 metre by 1 metre. So really nice big shrubs we're talking about here, and 3 of them.
Here we go, right. Of course, you can get ahead of us. You can rewind if you want to. If you're just joining us, any questions, you can comment on Facebook, comment on YouTube, email in. We are live this Sunday morning. So anything you want to see more of, or send us pictures of your garden, your allotment. What are you doing right now? We would love to see. But your peonies, 580006. If you just joined us, here's a little recap of bits and bobs you've just missed. We'll do our best to go live again, but nevertheless. First of all, the premium compost is on the screen, 100125. You can get hold of the best-selling product in the history of YouGarden. Over 550 5-star reviews for this compost in your pots, for example. It's a heavy-duty ones, or any size really. Or, as Bex was explaining, a nice big hole in the earth, in your borders. Give it the best possible chance to be fed, to be protected, to be strong. That's what the professional compost does. 100125. 50-litre bags will be delivered to your door, free P&P for, as you can see, the discount price of just over £21. Back in stock, 4,000 of these pots sold a couple of weeks ago, reordered, back with you now. 130011 to get hold of your heavy-duty pots. Of course, to look after plants, like you see there, Sean, with his Christmas trees. Maybe it's for tidying up. Maybe it's when the you're putting grass cuttings in there to move them. You're putting all these different, like, deadheading in there. All of the leaves that you've raked up to move it that way. Maybe it's full of your secateurs and your gloves and your kneeling pad, etc., etc. But you could use it for potting, for growing, perfect for fruit trees, perfect for tomatoes, perfect for potatoes. And you get 4. 130011. What's going to go in yours? Maybe it's a GM's, maybe it's a fire starter. 3 9cm pots here, so it's a triple pack for you for $16.97. You'll spy they come in the beige pots. Now they are recyclable. You'll also spy that they arrive in that premium compost. If you want to get hold of your fire starters, it's 561219. I wonder if everyone at home now, Bex, will notice the pause I take when I have a drink. Let's find out.
I think they always make
510530 is your item I buy for the next one, which is the gardenia. So brother, we're checking out your baskets and popping that in there for $15.29. Again, incredibly identifiable. I think this looks quite exotic as well, actually. I feel like with that sort of almost like little spiral star inner to the flower is very, very pretty. 510530. Orange azalea is next for you. Isn't it striking? I think it's really... Imagine this next to the black velvet.
That's a good shout.
I think that'd be lovely.
That's a really good shout.
I think that'd be lovely. That was very Norfolk of me. And why not? You go out of yours. 3 9cm pots. Are you going to pop them all in the same place? Maybe you can spread them out, maybe you can have a little cluster together, that's completely up to you. But $16.97 is your discount price, down from nearly £30. 511502. Maybe they're going to go next to the next item, the white dazzler. The choice here. A lot of you are putting them in the same basket. It's completely up to you, but that's a good choice. 511002 in the 15cm pot. $12.74 again. I'm looking at that discount club price so everybody can save. It was 10. It's now 15% off purely by being in the YouGarden Club. One of the most ordered items last week and on Thursday just now is this, the double Ellen red, that hellebore. Really striking, flowering now. They're flowering right now in the potting shed. They're flowering in our nursery. They're flowering in your garden right now. So if you want a bit of colour immediately, it's getting warmer. Bex has looked on the forecast. She guarantees it's going to be super warm next week, or just warmer than it is. So we're getting there, aren't we? 560968. Not forgetting, let's get free P&P. The code's on the screen all the times. YGTV 0725. Every single order this week. That'll change. The code will change next week, but this week 0725. This one is exactly why you shop via YouGarden TV with the code. Everybody else, if they're not using the code, maybe they had no idea there's this TV side of things, and they're on YouGarden, it's $14.99 for 5 plus P&P. If you pop the code in, you get $14.99. You then get another one for free, and you get free P&P. So if this is the only item you're ordering today, use the code YGTV0725. The item number to take you exactly to this item is at the top of the screen, 580-007. Rebecca, this is what Neil was talking about on the text or the emails. Text. Can people text in? No. Don't try texting in. Maybe we could do like one of those voice note services that people could voice note in, like Radio 2 do. Sounds like an absolute recipe disaster, doesn't it? Why not? 560-076 to get hold of the Goldstrom. Again, $12.72 down to the penny. This is what Bex has in her garden. You can have it in your garden. You saw it like doubled in size after the first year. You'll experience the exact same thing as long as you look after them, of course. Oh, Bex, just kick the pot. Hey?
Kick the bucket.
Kick the bucket, the heavy duty one, it's fine. Here's another one. Here's another one while you're shopping with YGTV, because with us it's your free gift, and it's not like a random gift of something completely irrelevant. It's the feed for your roses, and you get the extra large 750 gram one, because after all, you're getting 5 bare roots here. So that free gift that you're only getting, part of UGTV with the code, is worth the best part of £15, making your roses a tenner. Making your 5 bare roots, what is it, £2? That's incredible. That is your deal of the week, and you'll get free P&P, 530211. 2 more very quickly for you. Yeah, you know what? Really taken by this. If you're thinking, you know what, Dan and Bex and Stu and everybody else, I'm saving money here in my P&P. I've just got £15 worth of free feed in there, or I've got buy one, get one free on the poppies. I might just pop the black velvet in. It's going to give me height, it's going to give me contrast, it's going to help hide maybe the fence at the back after all, but more importantly, the colourful flowers around it are going to look absolutely spectacular with a black velvet backdrop, if that's what you want to do. So why not? You get 3, by the way. So maybe put them all and make a huge feature out of them. Maybe spread them out along the border so you get some repeating consistency. Completely up to you. But 511, 518, you'll get all 3 for $17.82. And the bowl of beauty that we were just talking about, the iconic, like almost globally famous peonies. Again, bare roots again. Are these going to start in your heavy duty pots? Are they going to live in your heavy duty pots forever? You haven't got to have a garden. Just some outdoor space, a heavy duty pot. Bex, do peonies like this compost?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so
absolutely.
So that goes in the same basket. If you've never done it before, the best fighting chance is giving them the best possible environment. 580006. Now, Elaine was saying she was going for the bark mulch. Well, Sean Ryan does the exact same thing as you, Elaine. If you're wondering what all the fuss is about, here's Sean to explain all.
Hello, well this is our YouGarden ornamental spruce bark mulch. It looks gorgeous actually, it's a really, really nice quality, but there are so many uses for this. It's great as a weed suppressant. So if you've got areas in your garden, beds and borders that get lots of weeds, a nice thick layer of this will just suppress those weeds. Also great as a top dressing around pots and containers. That's what I'm going to use it for here. If you've got children's play areas, it makes a nice soft cushion around those play areas, or maybe areas in your garden that you need to walk over. Having this there just makes it a lot safer and a lot easier. So I'm going to use it here. The reason being, I've got the euonymus here. And to be honest, whenever I've tried to plant things around them, they've never done that well. This is just full of roots. It really, really is. So what I'm going to do, because I think it looks, I just don't think it looks very nice. It looks a little bit ugly. I'm just going to do a nice thick layer of this and just see. Oh, right, see, yeah, this is going to really work. I'll tell you what, because it's autumn as well, I think that's going to look fun. Also, it is a great duvet. If you've got something that's a little bit tender, something like the anigalis that I had growing here in the summer, it's a tender perennial, so if it needs that extra protection from cold weather, then this would be absolutely superb. That looks so good, doesn't it? Really nice. Do you know what I'm amazed about? So I haven't done as thick a layer as you normally would for some other jobs, but it's amazing how far this has actually gone. And some of our regular YouGarden customers have bought several bags of this. It can really just make the whole garden look so much more neater and tidier. So I've just stood back and had a look at this from a distance. What really struck me as well is that all the green foliage now really stands out. You've got the contrast of the green with the bark mulch, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with that. I really should have done this many, many years ago.
There you go. 100061. 70 litre in that bag.
Yeah, 70 litres. So you get, how much was it, Stu? 3 square metres? About 3 square metres coverage of that. So you want a nice thick layer going down there, and it's just got so many uses. Weed suppressant, helps to keep the moisture in. It looks neat and tidy.
Good, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know, there's so many things to go for that for. So I think that's a brilliant thing to have in your gardens. 100061 is the item number.
Yep, Elaine, you're in good company. Sean Ryan as well loves here, so you can get hold of yours. 100061. Now then, lots of you are saying hello on Facebook, emailing in on YouTube as well. Do you have a question a second ago?
Yeah, we did. Amanda's asking how to move a climbing rose carefully is my answer to that one.
Okay.
Really carefully. No, I mean, do you know what? Now is the perfect time to be doing that, Amanda, absolutely. While it's dormant, I don't know how big that rose is, obviously. If it's relatively small, you can do it yourself. If it's a bit bigger, then
I wonder what's climbing up.
Yeah. Look, it's totally doable, okay? So you need to obviously dig quite wide around where it is, because you want to try and move it with minimal root. Just obviously you've got to disturb the roots, but you want to go quite wide. So yeah, dig very carefully, get your fork in, you know, nice and loosen those roots up and bring that away, and then replant basically. But whilst it's dormant is the perfect time to be doing it. And I would give it a bit of a good prune down when you move it as well, because it's going to have gone through a bit of stress being moved, of course it is, but now is the time to move your dormant plants. But I would give it a little prune down afterwards, because then it'll just support, you know, the roots that you've got will then support the new growth coming through. So just do it nice and carefully. Try and dig a wide hole around it so you're not breaking off too many of the roots.
Yes.
Make sure you're getting nice and deep down for any, you know, the deeper sort of larger tap roots that you've got going on. Get your fork in, give it a good little wiggle, that'll help to loosen it up, and then just carefully move it. Make sure you're wearing gloves.
I think this is why a lot of people will have like them in heavy duty pots.
Yeah.
Like in our...
Do you know, we do it all the time.
In our tower, there's lots of different things. I think Stu was just saying, was it Elaine who asked that question?
No, Amanda.
Amanda, sorry Amanda. Stu was just saying in our ear there that he had a climbing something up a trellis and actually unscrewed the trellis.
Yeah, moved it with the
take
trellis.
It all...
Yeah, just move the whole thing.
So, you know, needs must, and you've got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely, but now is the perfect time to be doing it, Amanda, so I hope it goes well. Do keep us appraised of the situation, won't you? Let us know how it went.
Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
Stu, the guy in charge of this in our ear over there, has told us a number of times what we're doing
next.
And I've asked him...
I've remembered.
Could you just repeat that?
Pots and compost.
Pots and... Yeah, is it pots first?
Or compost first? Let's go pot compost first.
Compost first, why not?
Okay, so now is the time to stock up. The busiest items last week were basically pots and compost. Yep. So you can see that everybody is getting stocked up, ready for the big old gardening season to start.
Here we go.
So get your bags of your premium professional compost, the best compost for your plants. The texture is amazing, and the ingredients in here is amazing. It's going to feed your plants with that composted, with the slow release fertiliser that we've got in there. We've got reduced peat content. We've got perfect balance, just in the middle, basically, sort of acid, alkaline, neutral. It's just left of neutral there. So most of your plants are going to work perfectly in here. Repot your house plants in here as well. But when it comes to any of the things you're putting in your garden, you know, summer bedding, winter bedding, bulbs, hellebores, nearly all of the things we've got on the show today are going to live the perfect life in this compost.
Am I putting it in a pot and then proper pushing it down, trying to get as much compost as I can, or I'm not compacting?
It needs a bit of air and space. I mean, you need to compact down slightly, obviously, and you want to kind of remove air gaps and things. So you do need to.
Yeah.
You do need to.
I'm thinking if I've got this, and I could just scoop it, and like that's full.
Yeah, no, I would look.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only sort of 2/3 full.
Okay.
So I would go a little bit. You don't want to really ram it in, but just a little bit. And then when you water it, that'll help it to sink down, and it'll remove all the air gaps in there.
I'll tell you what is amazing. When you water it, how much like the water stays.
Sucks into it.
Stays, it just run off everywhere, like on the table or wherever you're doing it.
That's the wetting agent, because there is a wetting agent in here that actually helps the water to hold on to it. I mean, all of you regulars, you know this already. Anybody who's watching who's brand new, who's watching thinking, it's just compost, what are you talking about? Then just put a message in the chat and ask the regulars, is this compost any good? Because honestly, I could talk about this so much and how many amazing results I have seen since I started using this compost. We get so many comments and 5-star reviews constantly telling us that they will never try anything else. And I think if you are the person who goes, you know, to the supermarket and buys the cheapest bag of compost, then That's the sort of person I really want to try this, because the difference you will see will be amazing. It will be absolutely incredible. It will change the way you will become a compost snob, and I apologise for that, because you will all of a sudden become an absolute compost snob.
Multi-ordered this, right?
For years.
Even though it's free P&P now, you know, whatever, doesn't matter. But nevertheless, if you're getting a delivery, let's get a delivery. And if you've got space in the shed, do they have like a
use by date?
Yeah.
You can store it for quite a while, absolutely. I mean, I would obviously you want to use it while it's fresh, but the bags are sealed. I mean, I've had bags sat. I have had a bag that sat for probably 6 months that I didn't use, and it's absolutely fine. So yes, you can stockpile them. It is not an issue at all.
There you go, if you want to. 100125. You mentioned compost. You also mentioned pot. I'm going to get the rest of the pots, by the way, because you get 4 of them. So I'm going to go across the camera.
You just carry on walking in front of cameras.
I know.
You do get 4 of these in this pack.
Sorry.
He's following you around now. Look.
Is he?
There you go.
Oh.
Hello.
So sneaky. Just to sort of give you an idea of like, for £17.
Yeah.
You get so much for your money.
Imagine
the P&P on this. Not only like going to the garden centre and carrying these around and in your big trolley and going to your car, if you asked someone to send these to you in a box, £10, £15, I don't know. I'm thinking about furniture you get delivered in a massive box.
Absolutely, and you are getting that free postage on these. They do stack up inside each other as well, obviously. But these are going to be the best thing for you. We'll change the details because we've still got the compost on the screen at the moment. There we go, look, £16.99 as a club member. So these really do break down to being very, very useful. We're following Sean around in his garden right now, but this could be you in your garden, deadheading, collecting all the bits and pieces. It can be a temporary home for plants if you need it to be. Like if you're moving home or you've got a plant, you don't know what you want to do with it yet, stick it in one of these. It'll live happily in here, probably for years, until you decide what you want to do with it. If you've got a log burner, you can carry your logs back and forth in it. You can stack and store all of your most used gardening equipment. Those bamboo canes that are sitting in the corner of the shed, that every time you go in, you knock them and they fly all over the floor and it really annoys you. Stack them in here. Keep your car cleaning equipment in here.
Yes, good point.
Keep the kids' toys, you know, the toys for the garden, the dogs' toys, maybe wellies, you can stack them in here. There's so many uses for them. I use some for the recycling. So I've got a couple of these in the kitchen.
Full of bottles clanging around.
But you know what? Even if they were full bottles, it's great because these are really handy. They can hold
loads of ice in if you're having a party.
Well,
I've
got the holes in, but
ice won't go through there. Obviously, when it melts, eventually it will.
But you could actually put your bottles and things in.
Yeah, of course you could.
There's so many uses you'll find for these
pots.
Fireworks
in there on fireworks night.
Could you?
Yeah. Can you not? Of course you could.
I don't know.
Like, put them down. Yeah, you've got to stick them in something, haven't you?
Why not?
Safety first.
Honestly, there's so many things that you can use them for, and once you've got a set of them, you will understand how useful they are. I grow loads of things in mine, so tomatoes, strawberries, I've got a cordyline growing, I've got a Prunus triloba cherry blossom tree in there, a couple of roses in there, a couple of other things I can never remember. Oh, I grew garlic in here before. So you can grow so many different things in here, and this is typically their use. We know there's lots of other uses for them, but that's typically their use as a professional growing pot. You've got the holes in the bottom. So you've got the 4 drainage holes in the bottom here, nice big drainage holes. But the great thing here is that you've also got these big drainage holes going around the side as well. And they are big, these drainage holes. So 6 of them around the edge here. And this is what makes them another thing for professional growing pots, because that extra drainage means your plants aren't going to be sitting in water. Sometimes we get a month's worth of rain in 2 hours, don't we? And that can really cause problems for our plants, particularly if the bottom drainage holes get blocked and there's nowhere for that water to drain away. These side holes allow that drainage to happen. So strong.
Really strong.
Really strong, because those are moulded into place. You know, once they're filled with compost in a plant, obviously they're going to be slightly heavier, but having 2 handles means that you can have one person either side to move those around the garden. And they're just brilliant. You're going to have them for years.
I remember the first time these came prolific in my life was back in the old Ideal World days, is when, with YouGarden through Peter, all the fruit trees, the pear trees, the apple trees, but not everybody could put them in their ground, maybe on a patio. They're the biggest pots, easy to move around. So having a full bare root tree in there on the patio, on the balcony, whatever it was, like that's why it was nearly 1 for 1 with new customers ordering these alongside those. It could be for that, it could not be everything Bex has just said. But for $16.99 for all 4, I'm also wondering how I how I deconstruct these. We're doing on a picture. Should I put them back?
There we go.
Right, hang on.
So yeah, there's so many uses, and I'm sure you lot have found plenty of other uses for them as well. So do let us know what you use your heavy duty pots for. I'd love to know if there's anything that you use them for that we haven't actually mentioned yet. Then let us know, won't you? We are coming back over to our favourites table.
I'm back.
We're going to start off with the favourite, which is the GM.
Absolutely, and not forgetting everybody, free P&P. You can get free P&P on everything. The pots, the compost, the flowers. We've all sorts of bushes and trees on the way for you now. You can get free P&P on all orders, whether that order is 1p or 1000p. You get free P&P with the code YGTV.
You must use the codes.
07.
You must use the codes.
You must use the code.
It doesn't just give you the free postage, but it gives you, so for example on this one, what is it, £19 saving you get on here. So it puts that saving in. If you don't put the code in, you won't get the free postage and you'll pay the full price, and we don't want you to do that.
You know in the supermarket,
yeah,
where you always go, say you know where the beans are, so you go to the beans. But every now and again, there's
they
like
move it around, don't they?
They move bits around, but I mean, like
So
if they're on offer, he's furious, isn't he? In my ear. Green beans in Tesco's, but they do like a little display at the end of the aisle that says beans buy one get one free. Now you go to the place where the beans normally are, and you get one tin of beans, and you go along and at checkout it doesn't say beep you've missed out on a promotion. It just beeps it through at normal price. You haven't got people like us wanging on at you in Tesco's, where we're going like, buy one, get one free on beans, get some beans, go back, get some beans, go back. That's why we keep saying it all the time, because we want you to have the best possible experience, to save even more, because you never know, if you have all of those things, you might just come back and shop again. That's exactly why I know if you watch the whole show, stop talking about free P&P, we want everybody to know.
We do want everybody to know. Stu just was laughing in my ear, actually. We did tell somebody to cancel their order once because they hadn't taken advantage of the deal. So Stu can actually see when orders come through, once the orders are completed, and he'd seen this person come through and place the... Just go back and cancel that and we'll start it again, please. Oh, what's that? We just had loads of comments on the compost and the pots.
On compost and pots.
Penny's a compost snob, so she's agreeing with us. I'm so sorry I've turned you into a compost snob, Penny, but you know it's great, isn't it?
Good company.
And Amanda's black pots are on the way. That's brilliant. Grimmy's got them for his mini orchard, exactly like you were saying.
Yes, Grimmy.
So Grimmy's are going to go in his son's garden. Is that the one with the tiered levels? It is, isn't it? Yeah, we can't wait to see that transformation, Grimmy. So keep us updated on that. Oh, he calls it the Swiss Army of garden pots. How
Grimmy, what, the heavy duty pots?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's got all these different things you can use it for.
If you're not part of it, and like you don't get it. People don't get like how you can wang on about a pot, about compost for so long.
It's so cool, isn't it?
Because it's so good, and like you guys get the same experience, and we're like, yeah, it's great, isn't it? And you're like, yeah, it is great. Because it's that whole to and fro with your comments. That's why we love all of your comments.
Who was it who uses it as a laundry basket? Simon. So Simon uses one of the heavy duty pots as a laundry basket. Brilliant. Yeah, use it for whatever you like. I love that. Let us know any other uses you've shown.
Both. Yeah, the compost, talking about the heavy duty pots, if you missed, is back.
Yeah.
That's what we're making a big deal about. It is back. $16.99 for. Right. GMs.
Not just any GM fire starter, twisted fire starter. Yes, 3 9-centimetre pots included in here. And we've got bright red, double ruffled blooms on here. GMs are fantastic. I just love them as a perennial in the garden. Lovely mounded growth from the foliage, and then like these lovely they don't need staking, and they've got a lovely kind of movement to them as well. They're not really sturdy as in straight stems. They've got nice movement to them. Pollinators adore them. They're winter hardy. They die back down over winter, although they do leave a bit of foliage above ground, but they do die back down over winter. And then come back for you reliably every year, creating clumps that you can divide and spread around your garden in later years. And all you need to do is a little bit of deadheading to get several months worth of flowers out of these. Every year they should come back to you from about April and May time, actually. Okay. They might take just a little bit more time whilst they're establishing this year, but pretty much from April and May time, that's when you first start seeing those signs of flowers coming through, and all the way through the summer, as long as you keep deadheading into September and October.
It's a bit of paper and pen time, friends. We're going to go a little bit quicker. So your item number here is 561219. Please don't miss out. We're talking about the most popular items ordered over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously, it's compost and pots. As far as flowers go, this one and a couple of others here. Yeah. Loads of really popular, as you can probably imagine, but there's a reason why nearly every single order adding items in like this. That is your GM details are on the screen. We're going to move on to the gardenia.
Gardenia, yeah. Now, a few things to tell you. So evergreen, first of all.
Yep.
Now, love a few of the deciduous plants in my garden. Regulars, you know how much I love an acer. I absolutely adore acers.
Yep.
But they do drop their leaves. So in winter, you know, my garden can look a little bit bare, but I'm mixing in some evergreens in there in order to balance that out a little bit. And that's what you're getting with the gardenia here. Evergreen, first of all. And I'm really, I'm so awakened by fragrance in the garden at the moment as well. I love fragrance, and gardenia is going to provide that fragrance for you, and a beautiful fragrance too. Used a lot in perfumes because of the fragrance you get. Pure white blooms that don't look real, do they? They look so perfect that they look like they've been crafted. And then this sweet sort of, I mean, it's a heady fragrance you get from gardenia, and I adore it. And the fact that these are hardy. So gardenias traditionally, or you know, people will know them as being the indoor plant because they're frost tender. But no, these are winter hardy down to about -10. Alison, thank you for confirming. You bought the hardy gardenia climbs from us 2022 back in our previous life on Ideal World. So hers is in that big heavy duty pot.
Yes.
They grow to about 60 by 60. Hers has filled out that pot now. So within 2-3 years, you're going to get the most amazing display from these. They don't grow massively quick, but they grow into a really nice, neat shape, reaching about sort of 60 by 60 centimetres. And then you get those gorgeous flowers that happen right in the height of summer, June, July, August, and into September time. Make sure you plant it where you're going to get the benefit of that fragrance.
Rightio, there you go. Cracking advice there, Bex.
Thank you.
Loads of information coming away. 510530. Very quickly, some of you asked the item before. Azalea, pack of 3 here, Bex. And actually, I can see why they're all in the same, like, if you want like a bit of a uniform to like just really points of interest.
Yes.
Beautiful flowers. This being next to your gardenias, I completely get it. This, we were saying, next to the black velvet would look fab.
Yeah, the phormium, it'd be beautiful. I mean, the bright orange colour you get from this is really quite something to look at. And of course, azalea flowers, they do tend to be very showy. You know, they're not the shrinking violet. They're very much the drama queen. Look at me, look at me. This is what azaleas are shouting to you when they are in flowers. They've got the jazz hands going. Sort of April and May time, they really do cover the evergreen foliage that you get on here. Put them into I'd say a part shade position actually. They want a decent amount of sun, and I'd probably just, if you could avoid the midday sun, I think that's when they're going to be at their best. But you know, don't worry too much. They're pretty tough. They're pretty easy. You get nice uniform growth on these. You don't really need to prune at all. They can reach about 1 metre by 1 metre if you let them go. But they're going to take a bit of time to get there. You know, they're quite slow growing, so we're talking probably 10 years to get to that sort of size, which is great if you've got the smaller gardens, of course, because you don't want something too vigorous, too fast. You could grow them in pots as well, though. If you don't have the space in borders or you don't have a garden, you could happily grow these in pots as well. Winter hardy, easy to grow, evergreen, low to no maintenance.
Now we're talking. There we go.
It's your kind of garden, isn't that?
Low to no. Let it happen. 511502. Right, choice here. We've got to leg it on if we can. And you know what, actually, it's really interesting what you do. If you want to like mix up the colours completely, brilliant. I think that whole mix, was it 30 bulb collection, would be perfect for that. But if you want some uniform of putting things together, for example, I'm thinking about the gardenia with the choicea.
I quite like this. I like it when people do that colour scheme where they have just one colour.
Yeah.
So there's somebody I follow on Instagram. He has the Pink Garden or something or other. Luke, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And he just plants pink stuff.
The Pink Garden.
Shades of pink. Is it called the Pink Gardener? And yeah, somebody on TikTok only plants black flowers in their garden, like the Halloween garden. It's really quite dark and mysterious and moody.
Cool.
And I quite like it. But yeah, if you wanted to go just pure white in your garden, then yeah, choicea, gardenia, tracheospermum. I mean, that would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Really lovely.
Choicea is a great choice for your garden because you've got, again, another evergreen shrub, another nice slow-growing one that grows in a really nice, neat shape. Minimal pruning required on here, and masses of these orange-scented white blooms, a profusion, shall we say, of these white blooms in springtime, April and May, and often you get a second flush, actually, sort of later on, sort of end of summer, early autumn time, August, September time. You can get a second flush of these flowers. Lovely scent that you get from the choicea white dazzler, and as I say, really low maintenance. It is award-winning, so it has the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. Completely winter hardy, no extra winter protection needed. One of those shrubs that I think think is a little bit overlooked because it's not what you'd necessarily call a thriller. I think when it's in bloom, it absolutely is, but it's one of those stalwarts, one of those things that you have in your border that performs for you month after month, year after year. You know, that's what you need a choicer in your garden for.
And just really pretty, identifiable. Even the foliage.
I like it. I think it's really interesting.
It looks proper like houseplanty to me, doesn't it? It feels really architectural, almost quite oriental, if you want it to, but very, very pretty. And it's only $12.74. That is all by being in the club. Free P&P, after all, with the code YGTV0725.
I just took it out of the pot because I realised I hadn't done that with that one. Just so that you can see, this is a really nicely established one. It's a 15 centimetre pot, so everything is really well established in there. You know, and going for a more established one with a slow growing plant tends to pay dividends. Obviously, I mean, you can start off with a 9 centimetre pot, of course you can, but sometimes when they're slightly slower growing, you want to go just that little bit larger.
Okay, there we go. 511002. Very quickly, one more to show you here. Going back to that double Ellen. Welcome, by the way. A lot of new names. If you're watching right now and you've never, I know a lot of you always comment, but if you've never commented, or maybe watching on YouTube, maybe watching on YouGarden Facebook, just put, hi, Stephen here, watching in Manchester. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
And if you found us because you found us from, you already shop on YouGarden, and you found a little leaflet in your parcel, and you looked at it and went, what is this YGTV thing? You could have bought from us on Amazon or TikTok or eBay, in actual fact, and you received that leaflet in your parcel that said YGTV, and you thought you'd come and check us out for that reason. We'd love to know if you're brand new to us because of that. Could you let us know in the chat?
Yeah.
Or send us an email if you don't want it in the chat, ygtv@yougarden.com.
You can do whatever you want. It's really interesting. It was like, just maybe you've always watched us, like, from afar. Watched every week. I've never mentioned it. Like, you watch all stuff online. I never comment. Even though I do a lot of presenting, asking you to comment, I personally never comment because I'm just watching. Just enjoying just watching. Just every now and again, lurking in the darkness, getting lost in the comments. We'll definitely give you a shout out, by the way.
Yeah,
and then sometimes I appreciate that I have commented on something and then I wait because it's exciting and they don't read out my name. Then I'm furious.
I like to. Even though we're on this side of things, I love it when I get my name read out when I comment. I love it. It's my favourite thing.
So when I see Norwich on the weather map, I lose my mind. Nevertheless, double Ellens, and as you're saying, flowering now, Bex.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I'm playing with compost.
And why not?
Yes, the double Ellen is flowering now. So this is about winter gardens. We talk a lot about trying to get 65 days of colour in your garden. I was trying to say 365 degrees of colour. That's not possible, is it?
It's getting warm. You said it was getting warm, Bex. Maybe not that warm.
Right, yeah, 360 days of colour in your garden. And there are things that you can plant that will be flowering over winter. And we bring you all of those. What we try to do on a weekly basis here in the Potting Shed is bring you things that you should be doing in your garden right now, maybe for later season colour, but also things that you should plant in your garden so that you've got colour at this time of year. That's why we're bringing you these hellebores.
Yes.
The colour that you've got on these are so pretty. I think they've got a lovely sort of antique quality to them, to the colour that you've got there. But these will flower for you February, March, April time.
Oh, now.
Perfect partner. I keep saying this to your snowdrops, which obviously are going to be flowering now at exactly the same time. The colour combination with the two is amazing. Maybe you want just a cluster of hellebores. Maybe you've got the lovely white coloured hellebores, the Christmas Carol we were doing earlier on, or other varieties. It is entirely up to you, but I just like winter colour. They will form clumps for you. They will give you free plants in your garden because you'll be able to lift and divide them. Super easy, super beautiful, and you get a pack of 3.
Ready now. Do place your orders, YouGarden.com. Press checkout. You'll get that price point. Use the offer code. You'll get free P&P winging its way to you ASAP. 560968. There's lots we haven't even shown you yet live this Sunday. A whole lot of table over there, but also the Buxus.
Yeah, okay, so Buxus, these are quite desirable items, aren't they? These are the sort of things that give your home that curb appeal that we all kind of look for.
Yeah.
Now, we got a pair of them, and I think that we've got a great price on these because you are getting both of them already really well established, already topiaried into that lovely pyramid shape. So all you have to do is maintain that, which is really nice and easy to do. A couple of times a year, all you'll do is give them a little prune, just to keep that, because obviously, look, there's one here, look. I'd probably prune that off.
Snip.
Just a little snip, just to maintain that shape. But you actually only need to do it a couple of times a year. Pick a nice shady day to do it, because if you prune on a really sunny day, where you've cut, the leaf tips can just turn that little bit brown and it doesn't look very nice. So that's the only top tip when it comes to that. If you keep it in pots, obviously, just keep them well watered. Obviously, everything that goes in a pot, you need to keep an eye on as far as the watering is concerned. But we're talking about evergreen colour here, because they look good all year round. A pair of these, either side of the doorway, front door, back door, patio doors, seating area, pathways, whatever you like. That looks amazing.
Oh, either side of a bench or something. That'd be really lovely, wouldn't it?
This is where the pair works really nicely. You know, we were talking about planting in odd numbers or pairs. This is where pairs works really nicely when you're bookending something.
I guess it's where you go to town with like a decorative pot, right?
Yeah, potentially, yes, absolutely. Or you want to go something. I mean, these, we did talk about these, didn't we? I don't think they're quite big enough. Maybe it's the 13 Stu's saying.
These are the 10s we've got, but maybe 13.
I mean, they're not horrendous. They could fit in there for now, but obviously as they get a bit bigger, they're going to need to go into a slightly bigger one.
Them too often, right?
Sometimes you want to go for something really decorative, but sometimes you want to go for something just that little bit plainer because you want all of the attention to be on the plant. So it just depends on
And square pots, maybe it's a bronze pot, maybe it's got like a gold touch to it.
There's so many options.
Yeah, but I think, you're right. It's such a statement, isn't it? Really beautiful, and absolutely compare like for like with elsewhere. Compare that price for Buxus.
Yep.
The box pyramids, two of them, 38.23, free P&P. That's why you shop at YouGarden for an item like this.
And these are hefty, you know.
And even that being delivered to your door.
They're hefty.
How are these delivered in a box?
Yes, so we have 30-something, 34, 35 different sizes and shapes of packaging.
Yeah.
So anytime we bring in a new plant that's slightly outside of that shape, we have to obviously get the right packaging for it. But we have 35 odd different types of packaging. So they come in those plastic boxes. We have these plastic... cardboard boxes. We have these plastic air pockets sometimes that come wrapped around the plants to hold them nice and secure in the boxes. So we've been sending plants through the post for 20 odd years, for as long as YouGarden have been in business. So we have become quite practiced at making sure we've got the right packaging. It's all fully recyclable as well. If there's ever an issue with your order, as much as we try to get everything out in perfect condition, sometimes there are issues. Just get in touch with customer services, let them know. They will sort it for you.
That's a very good point. If you pop these in the back of your car when you're driving home from the garden centre and they fall over and break, you can't
go back and say...
You can't go back and be like, I broke it in my car. They'd be like...
Stu was just saying we'll throw mud everywhere. I've had to transport a few plants recently just because of my job, working here. You should see how much dirt is in my car.
Filth.
Like, it is, honestly, in the back, in the front, and it's not all the kids. It is very much to do with me transporting plants backwards and forwards from the nursery. So I did look in the car this morning. I was like, you have to get the vacuum out here. Like, this is really bad now.
Can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered. Can't be bothered.
Right, a pair of 510034, and we're loving that a lot of you are saying hi in the chats and all sorts of different names and things.
We'll grab the iPad.
Look. Who's behind you? In just a tick. But we're going this way.
Off we go. Yes, we're going to the strawberry tree that doesn't grow strawberries.
No,
I need to say that first of all. But the fruits that appear actually do look a little strawberry-ish, and they are edible, though they don't taste particularly nice. They tend to be quite tart. Quite tart, yes. Oh, apparently I've got a message in the chat from Jay. What did he say? He's saying, yes, it costs less on the website. Yes, it absolutely is, but you will pay postage on that one of $6.99. So actually, the value in here is way better. So it is better to buy it from us than it is to buy it on the website.
Get back. Be seamless. Hold this up.
Free postage on all orders, so you can just come in and buy this at, what is it, $17.99, $15.29 in the club, and you won't pay the $6.99 postage that you will pay if you go via the website to buy it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? I mean, obviously you can go via the website to buy it, but not on that item number.
Yeah,
I'm confusing things.
It's tricky to say, isn't it? But it's the code.
Yeah, it's the code. Put the code in.
But Jay's putting lots of comments. Jay's just ordered the finger...
Oh, the finger line. Ah, that was awesome. I really liked that one. He's received it and he says it's amazing quality. Yeah, good. I'm glad.
Thanks,
That's what
Jay.
we do. That is what we do. Oh, he's been a member of the club for many years. He got locked in at the low price. Yes, you lock in the price. You pay for that club membership. So if and when we put the price up, you lock it in. Make sure your club membership doesn't lapse. So it's on auto renewal. The way that your club membership could lapse is your card runs out, because we've all got an end date, an expiry date on our cards. So don't let that happen. Check the expiry date on your card. Update on your club membership so that you lock in that price.
A lot of you subscribe on YouTube to never miss a show, Facebook. TikTok, we're live on TikTok after this show, right? This finishes at half 12. And then a bit of a window for us to get outside, because we go out and about.
Well, no, I think we're going to stay in here this afternoon.
Thank goodness.
We normally go over to our houseplant room and we take everything over there.
Yep.
But actually, we're going to do it the other way around. We're going to stay in here this week.
Great.
Because there aren't as many houseplants featuring. There's more outdoor plants, so it's easier for us to bring it over here.
But nevertheless, just search YouGarden on TikTok, right?
Yeah, you'll find us.
And you'll find us there. Nearly 18,500 of you. When you hear there's a little ticky-tocky. Yeah, about 100 followers today.
I know, it's doing well. Come and join us. I mean, you might just like the YGTV stuff, and that's fine. We're in lots of different places, as you know. We do YGTV, we do TikTok, we do QVC. In fact, when am I at QVC? I'm at QVC this week. I'm at QVC on Wednesday this week. I will be on the Style channel, which is on Freeview channel 37. I think it's preview channel 37. It's QVC Style, where they do My Garden Escape between 5 and 7 o'clock. It's called QVC2 on Freeview. And I will be on at 5 p.m. this coming Wednesday for the full hour. So I would love it if you could all come and join me for that as well. So yes, we broadcast in lots of different places. You choose how, where and when you'd like to watch us.
If you want the code...
If you want the code
for free P&P...
If you want the club...
you want the club 15% off. If you want buy one, get one free on the poppies. If you want that free feed with the roses, it's here. We do different deals, basically, between here and QVC. Well, I can check that much louder, because I'm not allowed on QVC. YGTV 0725. I didn't hit the style guide. Now, we're talking strawberry... Oh, Jay's tried them!
Oh! Does he say they're nice? Okay, I've never tried one.
Delicious, by the way. I tried mine for the first time last year. Just make sure they are fully ripened. Yeah, so they can. I mean, so they are edible, but they're quite sharp tasting. But yeah, I mean, if you leave them and it's a nice sunny summer, then you never know. They might be absolutely delicious. We do talk a lot about you can use them in preserves and things like that, and add some sugar to them. Or you can leave them for the birds. You know, like sour sweets. It's like, bleh. You're a big super sour fan, I'm up for that. Aren't you? Nothing. You get like the like sour balls and like that. Like, bleh, I can't do that. But I love it like a sugary. Yeah, it depends on your own taste buds, doesn't it? How are you with that? I quite like a sour sweet. Yeah? I like it when your glands go... And it actually instantly dries up your mouth. There's no saliva left, because it'll just... I like it. I feel like you're getting value for money because it's doing something. You know what I mean? Oh, so good. Well, you are I'm looking forward to these flowering. You are getting an evergreen plant with this one, so it looks good all year round. It is winter hardy down to -10. Oh, do you know, every time I talk about this, I convince myself to get one because it is a fantastic plant, isn't it? Evergreen, winter hardy down to -10. Lovely evergreen foliage on there. Pretty cream flowers on here, and then you're going to get those fruits appearing as well. So I think there's something on this to look at all year round. It can get really nice and big as well if you want it to. We are talking 6, 7, 8 metres height here. Yep. So this can get really nice and big if you want it to. You could probably grow it in a pot as well quite happily. You just won't obviously get as many flowers and as many fruits, but you could do that if you wanted to. Maybe the heavy duty pot's going to go in that same basket. Yeah, maybe. It sounds like nearly every single person is. Well, thank you, Jay, for commenting, because obviously Jay has had amazing results from this. Oh, it's Jay's permaculture allotment. So he says they're only sharp if they're not ripe. So there you go. Thank you very much for commenting on that, Jay. Really appreciate that. Maybe I'd wait early. Oh, Jay's commenting loads. I love this. So this is what we do. We are live this Sunday after all, 18 minutes past 11, roughly. That clock's not completely
Jesus,
right.
I've loved everything that has been delivered from YouGarden this year. That's really nice to know. Thank you. Amanda got in touch, what?
What? Her Christmas rose is still flowering.
Yeah, the Christmas Carol,
Oh,
which is it's a variety of hellebore, like the double Ellen.
Divine. Perfect.
Yeah, because that one's slightly earlier flowering, isn't it? But it's still going. Lovely.
There you go. Anyway, that was the strawberry tree. Details are on your screen. Gladiola, the glamorous gladioli.
All gladioli are glamorous, I think. I mean, there's some that are more glamorous than others, but they are all amazing. I just love gladioli. I think they're fantastically just flamboyant flowers.
Is
aren't
it
they?
gladioli? Maybe it's not. There's like a famous comedian or musician, isn't there, that loved gladioli? Was it Ken Dodd?
No, it was.
Was it Dame Edna?
It was Dame Edna, wasn't it?
Was
with
it
the
Liberace?
gladioli? I'm sure it was Dame Edna, wasn't it, with gladioli?
Have I made
It
that
was,
up?
wasn't it?
Is
Yeah, it was
that what you
Dame Edna
said?
Everidge.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, they're brilliant. I love them. I think they're tall. They add height to your borders. They flower from the
flowers
base
just
to the
stacking
tip.
up.
I love them. You get a mixture of colours included in here as well, and you're going. Oh, have I put this out and it's not on?
Oh, it's for TikTok later.
I'm so sorry.
Well, it's on the website right now.
Move on. Forget it. Oh, can you? It was on last week, so it might still be available. Let's go to the crenodendron. Stu's going to look at that. Ignore that.
But this is the point, when they're on
Sorry.
99% of the time, the UGTV side of things, that's where you can get free P&P. Things get moved in and out, which is why the code often doesn't work, but hopefully that was last week's.
If it was on last week, the chances are that last week's code would work, because we do... this week's code would work. I don't know. Stu's going to come back. Let's talk about the crenodendron for the time being. Chilean lantern tree is the one that we're going to look at here.
Talking about Dame Edna. Thank goodness. That was close, wasn't it? Sorry, yeah. Chilean lantern tree.
The Chilean lantern tree, and it's Grimmy that sent us his picture on this one previously. He's been growing this in his garden in Yorkshire, which means that this one is fantastic. So it is winter hardy. You can get this somewhere between -5 and -10. Obviously, it's coming to you in a 9-centimetre pot.
Yep.
So depending on where you are in the country at the moment, it's a younger plant, so you might need to just give it a little bit of winter protection before you plant it out. So just bear that in mind.
And by that you mean pop it in a greenhouse, or...?
Yeah, pop it in a greenhouse, keep it on a windowsill for a bit.
Okay.
You can pot it on, but just give it a little bit of protection, because we're still obviously getting some minus temperatures, aren't
Yes, we are.
And obviously, depending on where you are in the country, they are more minus than others.
I haven't been the same since yesterday. That was a chilly
You got
day.
so cold, didn't you?
So cold, so long.
Now, it has got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, so proven performer. But just check out those flowers. How cool are they? I think it adds this lovely sort of exotic touch to your garden. Those lovely hanging lantern flowers that you've got
posh,
here.
Rebecca. Lantern. Lantern.
Will flower for you from late spring, about May time, all the way through the summer, May, June, July, and into August. It can get nice and big if you want it to. It can get to about 4 metres. It'll take a few years, but it can get that big if you want it to. You could grow it in a pot, though. It does need ericaceous compost, so please bear that in mind. If you don't have ericaceous soil in your garden already, you will need to think about growing it in a pot, maybe.
Yep.
And getting yourself some ericaceous compost in order to grow it.
So if I'm in my garden and I want to have a number of items in a row, and some is the ericaceous, and some is
our premium professional. Yeah.
Could it all be in the same border? It's just like hotspot, the sort of compost. Is that not really what you do?
It doesn't really work. So what happens with it, if you do a normal compost border, and then you want to plant an ericaceous one in the middle, it all leaches into each other. Okay. So what happens is that essentially the ericaceous part of it will gradually lose the ericaceous part. It'll become more neutral. So over time, that plant won't do as well. But what you can do is you can bury the pot.
Right.
So I wouldn't completely bury it. I'd leave a lip of about that much sticking out the top.
Right.
So you don't get the compost leach, the
that
normal
makes sense.
compost leaching into the ericaceous one. But then it's contained in a pot, but looks like it's in your border.
Right.
So people do that
it
in
is
order to
possible.
mix those things in. I mean, Sean's thought about it and been very clever. He's got a fully ericaceous border.
That kind of makes sense.
So he's made sure that is an ericaceous border, and everything that's ericaceous goes into that border. But we don't all have that option or size of garden. So there's other ways that we can go around doing it to create
Plant's funny sometimes.
Yeah, there you go.
Completely different. Okay.
Hold
We're
on,
going
what's
back to
Jay
Jay's
saying?
comment. He has a food forest.
I'm ordering 2 more strawberry tree for my food forest. Now I know how good they are.
Jay, what else is in
Has
there?
Jay commented before? I don't recognise Jay's permaculture allotment. So you just started commenting. Thank you so much. You're in London, apparently. He says, very high quality, Jay in London. So yes, I want to know what you've got going in your garden, please. It's lovely to hear from new people.
Fruits?
Obviously,
Is it
we still
veg?
love all of our regulars, but it's nice to hear from new people as well. So
course
let
it
us know
is.
what you've got going on.
Very cool.
Interesting.
Food
Sounds like we might be able
forest.
to get some ideas from Jay now as well. Right, I'm so sorry, everybody, but now we can go to Gladioli. It will work on this week's code. So if you want to
100
go
bulbs?
for the 100 Gladioli bulbs for £12.73 as a club member, you can go for it. If you shop via the webpage, it won't be in the webpage, but you can put the item code in and you can shop that way. So you can get hold of this.
This is a real... If you're watching right now, 25 past 11, that's a special for you watching at this very second.
Because I made a mistake. So.
Well, no, we all did. We're all in this together. Yes, whether you're shopping backwards or forwards, maybe you shop the whole website, which a lot of you do, particularly the YouGarden side of things. Wow, to get 100 of those, it's the item number that goes in your basket, 630002. You can use this week's code, save a tenner off, another 15% by being in the club, free P&P, YGTV 0725.
100 Gladioli bulbs. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, 100 of those, that's crazy, that's way too many. But actually, it really isn't, because you're going to plant Gladioli in clusters and groups.
Right.
So I'd say at least 12 to 15 of them planted together.
Okay.
Maybe even groups of 20. So let's say 20, you're going to get 5 groups then, if you're planting in 20s. So 5 clusters of those throughout your garden, in pots or borders, either way, it's up to you. You get enough to be able to have outdoors, to look at outdoors, but then you've also got enough to be able to use some of those clusters as cut flowers to bring indoors.
Yes.
And
How
here's
lovely.
a tip for you.
Here we go.
Stagger your planting. So...
As in, like, forward and back. Is that what I mean?
No.
Okay.
No, but you...
I was being serious for a second.
But plant them at different times. So
Oh.
plant one cluster 1 week.
Yeah.
Wait 2 weeks. Plant the next cluster. Wait another 2 weeks. Plant the next cluster. Do you see what I mean? Because then they will grow at slightly different times, which will extend your gladioli flowering. Because they'll come up slightly differently.
Yeah, we do.
You always get a weird one that comes up at some odd time anyway.
What are you doing?
There's always a
You've
weird
only been in
one.
for 15 minutes. What are you
What are
doing?
you playing at? You're
Back
a
in
bit
the pot.
precocious. Get back in the bulb.
Get back in the bulb.
But yeah, if you
Pushing it back in the bulb.
if you stagger your planting, you can then extend your flowering. You do that with so many different types of bulbs as well.
Here we go. I like the idea of cutting them and then bringing them indoors.
Oh, yes.
Divine. Anyway, there you go. We're in luck. 630002. Right, Sky Scraper Lilies, giant lily collection. That is part of this week's collection for you. It is legendary, Stu, in our rear here. Goodness me, this has been so popular for so many years.
Yeah.
But a new mix of colours for this year.
Love them. So we've got 15 bulbs in total, 3 of each of the 5 different varieties. We've got Saltarella, which is the lovely apricot, Amorossi, which is a wine red colour. We've got Manissa, which is that lemon yellow, Rabina, which is the soft pink, and then the Matisse, which is that cream-edged red centre. That one, I think it's my favourite. I know I'm not supposed to have a favourite, but it is my favourite. That bi-coloured bloom you
Why
get
do I know
there.
the word Matisse?
It's an artist.
Oh, yes it is. We've got one in the house.
Have you?
Yeah.
Not a real one.
No. No.
Millions of pounds there.
No, I know. But I knew I recognised it.
Yeah, so they are stunning blooms here because these are what we call tree lilies, because each one of these bulbs, and they're chunky bulbs, they're really nice big bulbs, each one of these bulbs can get 6 feet plus in height. First year, I planted these last year. I can't believe I only planted them for the first time last year. But in the first year, mine got to about 4.5, I reckon, 4.5 feet in height. This year, they're going to get even bigger. I'm hoping to get about 6 feet this year.
Wow.
Now, you don't just get one lily at the top of that stem, you get multiple. So you can get 20, 30 flowers at the top of each of those bulb stems. So multiply that by 15 and just imagine how many of those gorgeous lily flowers you're going to have. And they will flower in the first year. These are in Stu's garden, looking absolutely stunning. He's had them about 7 or 8 years, and every year they reliably come back and give that gorgeous display in summertime. They're strong, they're sturdy. They do not need staking.
That's one stem.
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't need staking either. I mean, obviously think about where you're planting them, put them in a more sheltered location, but they are super sturdy. Other lily varieties that I grow, they do need staking, and I will happily do that job because I love the lilies, but these don't need it.
Love that. There you go, your skyscrapers, if you want to get hold of those. They're real, like, almost like show-offy, look what I can grow.
Yeah,
like,
look at this.
But you haven't got to do anything more.
Yeah.
You're just buying the right product,
They're so
right?
easy.
Yeah.
And they're totally hardy as well. You just leave them outside all year round. Cut the flower head off after they've faded, but leave the stem intact. Allow the stem to die back down naturally. And then in winter, sort of autumn, late autumn, the stem will have gone brown. You just chop it off at the bottom, or sometimes you just pull it away.
Okay, there you go.
And then it'll come back.
To get hold of your skyscraper lily, 650-086. Daphne.
Yeah,
Now,
Daphne's
Daphne,
beautiful.
we only saw for a second on Thursday, and it was hugely popular.
I've actually brought 2 out for you.
Thank you.
Because this one, the flowers are fully open, whereas a lot of the stock that we've got at the moment, they're like this.
Okay.
They're in bud, waiting to open. But we do have that one there, which is sort of more open at the moment as well. And the fragrance coming off that is incredible. I love Daphne flowers. I mean, look at the buds, how they're a lovely pink colour. And then as those open up...
Oh, it's really sweet.
Isn't it?
Wow.
It's incredible
Crikey,
fragrance.
yeah, wow.
As they open up, you get this lovely blush tone to the flowers, lovely clusters of them, and they flower along the stem as well, which is really interesting with Daphnes. It's probably one of the most fragrant shrubs in the world. It really is. It's the largest and probably the earliest flowering of any of the Daphnes. Now, the ones that we've got are just opening up, but I will say the one that I've got in my garden that I planted last year has been in bloom since January.
Hey, Bex.
Yes.
Do we tell Stu to change details now, or...?
No, he'll see in a minute.
He'll notice.
He'll notice. It's evergreen, so you have that lovely foliage on there all year round, and they are fully winter hardy. They're the perfect size for pots because they don't get... I mean, they can get to probably 4 feet height and spread, relatively slow growing, so they're not going to do that in the first season, but they are the perfect size for pots. In fact, this is one of the plants I will be digging up very soon because I don't want to leave that in my garden. That one has to come with me, so I will be digging that up. It will be going into a heavy-duty pot, which will be a temporary home, and I'll be taking that to my new house when I buy one.
Isn't it beautiful?
I love it.
And by the way, can we all give Stu a bit of credit in there? Because back in the day, he's doing the job of 4 people.
He is doing the job of 4 people.
There used to be, back in the galleries and shopping centre, like a tech person doing mics and lights.
Person operating the graphics.
Producer, graphics op, vision mixer / director.
And he's doing all 4 of those jobs. Well done, Stu.
He's doing very well. So even though we still point it out, secretly we know he's doing a very good job.
We do.
But don't tell him too often.
No.
Okay, Daphne, 511-038. There you go, $17.99. Are we going this way, Stu?
Oh, no, we need to do a reminder.
Go on then, yes we do. Right, let's recap for you. 1 hour left. Let's really recap bits and bobs you're going to see in a second, or maybe what you've missed out. The black velvet is coming up first. There it is. Excuse me. Right, £10 saving. I know it's £9, but I'm looking at club prices here. 3 on the 9-litre pots of the black velvet. Really striking drama. Really giving you a beautiful, mass background of colour to make your florals pop. 3 of these in 9-centimetre pots. Obviously, they grow much bigger than that if you want them to. 511-518. The GM Firestarter. These are really sweet, aren't they? Little florals. I love the picture we've got out here, like in a little pot. Little Firestarter heads all over the place. When you look closely, really, really sweet. Maybe they're going to go individually into pots, and they're 3 next to each other. Maybe you're going to plant them in the ground. Make a lot much more massive of colour. Completely up to you. But from $38.97 down to $16.97. That's better than half price by a lot, actually, for club members. 561-219. The double Ellen Red flowering now. I know a lot of what we're doing this time of year is getting ready for things that are going to flower in April, May, June, July, etc. These are flowering now. So if you want to get some colour in your garden, a darker colour as well, which is a lovely contrast maybe, 560968 to get a hold of yours. Again, you're going to get 3 in 9cm pots for $14.42. That is all things double red. Oh dear, I've come unstuck.
Going on to the Rebecca.
Yeah, we are. I see the details there. You know, occasionally, profesh. Not today, but occasionally. The Rebecca Goldstrom 560076 your item. This is exactly what Bex has got in her garden, almost doubling in size after year 1. So you can imagine how prolific it can be if you want it to be. 3 of those altogether. I really like the idea of these being next to the black velvet. Maybe they're going to be in a line along the borders and you're going to spread them out. I get that too. $12.72. Your item over here is 560076. Now, next up, we were just talking about this with Jay, weren't we? And Jay, thank you for all your comments and recommendations. 510323 is your item number here. You can eat them, as long as they're ripe. Jay was saying they are delish to his palate. I'm looking forward to the ones in the... It's really tricky here for all the staff in the YouGarden with all these fruiting numbers and berry numbers. I know there's a rule where they can't, and they all stick to the rules. I won't tell anyone. But you've got to try one, right? 510323 to get your strawberry tree home in 2-litre pots, $15.29. Yeah, I bought a Braeburn apple. There's no apples on it, but all the crew have been fed beautifully. Incredibly interesting, aren't they? But 510323. Can I quickly remind you of the skyscraper lilies? You just spied them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different varieties, 15 bulbs, obviously multiple blooms per bulb. Look at that saving, by the way. Percentage-wise, I think this is probably the biggest on the show. What a treat. £23 off. Even more with your extra 15% saving by being in the YouGarden Discount Club. 650086. And they are huge, they are striking, they are impressive, and they do it themselves. 650086. Heavy duty pots, here we go. Yes, friends, they are back in stock. Historically, one of the best quantity-wise over decades of YouGarden. That and the compost. Talk about the compost in just a second. But if you want to get hold of your heavy duty pots for transportation, for growing on, for your fruit trees, maybe you haven't got a garden as such, and you've got a patio area or a balcony, for example, but you want to grow your own. You want your raspberries, or your strawberries, or your mushrooms, or your potatoes. Potatoes are particularly good in these because of the depth of them. Or for storing your equipment, like you can see Sean doing there. Maybe it's outdoor garden games, maybe it's all the pet stuff, maybe it's organising, manoeuvring things around, or for actually growing. That's what heavy duty pots are for. 130011, and you get 4, by the way, which works out about £4.25 a pot. They are massive. 30-litre pots, that's 4 times 40 centimetre diameter. 130011. I mentioned that the pots, heavy-duty pots, are one of the best ever in the history of YouGarden. The bestseller of YouGarden is all things professional compost. Here is Sean, here is Peter, head gardener. He is all things YouGarden as to why this is now available to you and why it is put together as it is.
We describe this as premium professional compost. And the reason for that is it is the compost that is known, this formula we have perfected over decades. So I've been using it for decades. We have perfected it over decades. You've got a blend of the best peats plus wood fibre that you can imagine. Now, by volume, approximately 50% of this compost is wood fibre, and the balance is made up of a blend of peats, and there are 3 different peats. So you've got things like sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable. You've got sedge peat, and then you've got darker sphagnum as well in there. So you've got 3 different peats. You've also got, you can see actually just there, there's slow-release fertiliser. These little green, what look like little eggs, you'll see those dotted among the compost when you're planting it. That's slow-release fertiliser. One of the most expensive ingredients in any compost is fertiliser. You can see that there's another one just down below. That is amazing because that will deploy nutrients to the roots of whatever you grow in this compost just when they need it over the next 6 months. You then got what's called a buffer. Now, peat in particular is naturally acidic. So, and plants like to be just on the acidic side of neutral as a generality. There are exceptions, so things like rhododendrons and azaleas, they love to be properly acidic in terms of the ericaceous soil or compost they're growing in. But most things like it just on the slightly acidic edge of neutral. So that's what this is designed to give you. So it's got a pH buffer to keep it in exactly that zone. The wood fibre keeps the sort of perfect air-water porosity ratio, which is what we talk about in the trade, all these complicated terms. But it's what plants need is they need a jungle gym to grow in. So they need a jungle gym for their roots, which is called growing medium. They need some water, and they need some air, and they need nutrients. And when you've got the perfect compost, it blends the air and the water and the constituents of the compost. It all blends together to give the perfect environment. That's what this particular compost does, which is why it's trusted by us. We will be growing approximately 150,000 potted roses on this nursery this year. That's roughly what we grow most years. We'll be growing, I don't know how many hanging baskets, but our pre-planted hanging baskets that will be available later, you will have bought them in the autumn and last spring as well. They grow in this compost. We will grow countless perennials, whether they be in the 9 centimetre square pots or the 3 litre pots or the 5 litre pots, plus fruit trees. And this is the compost we use for all of those things. So we trust it, the trade trusts it, and actually based upon the well, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bags of this particular compost that you've bought over the years, you definitely trust it as well. And, you know, and actually, peat is a thing. We need to think about peat. Not me. I happen to also be peat, but it's the peat that's in here that we're talking about. We can still use peat in our gardens right now, and actually the alternatives, generally speaking, are a bit iffy. So if you want to get the best results, in my view, use this particular compost for as long as you can. It's got 50% other material in it, which is the lowest level we could get to and still have a professional quality product for you and for ourselves. So we've been as eco-friendly as we can, and we jumped onto that particular that approach years and years and years ago. So this is the same formulation that we've had for at least the last 6 or 7 years, with 50% other material to bulk out the peat, and it still works better. So I would say this is, in my opinion, it's the only compost I use at home. It's the compost we use on the nursery. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Two very interesting people there, aren't they? Very interesting. I imagine there's a lot of quarter-length zips going on with jumpers like I was wearing last. I don't know if it's an age thing. Honestly, me and my friends, I see them on LinkedIn and stuff like this.
All in the quarter zip. There you go.
Anyway,
must be as you get older.
100125, prices on the screen, 21, 23. Yeah, get to a certain age, you've got to go. It's the ultimate. It looks smart. You haven't got to iron anything. You're warm. I wish I should have been 40 a long time ago. Nevertheless, we've got some lovely pictures and questions coming in. Thank you so much in comments. You can comment on the email, of course, but YouTube, if you're watching there, we can see the thread, Facebook too. Have you got anything for us, Bex?
Grimmy sent us this picture of his Chilean lantern that we just talked about a few minutes ago, the crenodendron. This one, it was taken last year, I believe. Obviously, it was taken last year. It's not taken now, is it?
It's not live.
But yes, you can see all of those beautiful lantern flowers just appearing on that plant there. This is just the side of his bars, just behind there, you see.
Oh, I see, in there.
So it's just behind just over that fence. You can climb over the fence, you can get into the bar.
Just around there.
So yeah, he did invite us for a drink. So if we're ever up that way,
it depends. He hasn't localised in which part of Yorkshire.
He did tell us before. Was it Halifax? I
think
it was near
West
Halifax,
Yorkshire,
wasn't it?
Grimmy. Like, I appreciate. I'm not here very often, but I used to play for a rugby club. I used to play for Crosslands in Halifax. You played rugby in Halifax.
There you go.
Come on. I mean, I'm not begging, Grimmy. I'm begging.
Sort of is a little bit.
Yeah.
Elaine has sent us some pictures. Thank you so much, Elaine. So this is the Dixonia. I'm sure Elaine sent a picture saying the Dixonia wasn't looking very well, but it's certainly looking very well right now. So I'm hoping that this means that your Dixonia has properly perked up and is looking great now. In one of our pots as well. I can't remember the name of that, but I recognise the pot, and I also recognise the bark mulch around the top there, which is perfect for that plant. It does need a bit of winter protection, so very good.
Do you think those are usable wellies or they're just decorative wellies?
I think they look usable wellies, those ones.
They do look usable wellies.
She sent us a few pictures, so let me have a look what else she sent us. The Christmas rose.
Oh, lovely.
This is the beautiful hellebore that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So lovely pure white flowers there. You can imagine that with the hellebore double Ellen, can't you? You should get a crossover of the flowers happening. I'd like to think you'd get a crossover anyway. And then finally from Elaine, ooh, yeah, we're starting to see the bulbs starting to pop up. This is an allium. She reckons it's a super globe that's popping up.
Here it
There's
comes.
a couple of my alliums that are popping up looking exactly like that as well, Elaine. So,
And the bark doing its job, isn't it?
And the bark doing its job as well, absolutely. So loads of signs of spring are starting to pop up. Now, I do believe Jay has sent us some pictures. And I keep refreshing.
That's Jay.
Refresh. But Jay, they haven't come through yet. We're very excited to see those as well, of the food forest. So I'll keep an eye out for those popping up. Amanda is still on Facebook, so thank you very much. She's she's bragging about the deal she got the other day with a free postage offer. So she's just filled her basket up. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
why
everyone
not?
can. Wherever put.
You go for it.
You get some point of sale.
Get some point of sale, that's right.
You spend money on a poster.
Jay doesn't think he's got the email address. It's right at the bottom of the screen for you there, look. ygtv@yougarden.com. Any pictures you fancy sending, do send them through. We will show them on screen as well.
Keep going, Bex.
Rhiannon has planted up her freesia bulb, so she'll be getting that lovely fragrance going on later on in the year. Jay's asking for more edibles on YGTV, please. Yes, we do bring you lots of edibles. If you come and join us on TikTok later, we've probably got a few. I know we've got raspberry canes and things coming up on TikTok later on, so we'll be live from there at about 1:30. We've got tayberries, we have honeyberries,
What's a
blackberries. Oh, tayberry is beautiful. It's a hybrid. You don't often see them in much. Stu just said you have to charge it up every night. Because it's a hybrid.
Oh, I didn't get it. I heard him say it. And then when he even explained it.
It made me pause when he said it. It's a hybrid fruit variety. It's a hybrid between a...
you mentioned TikTok?
Raspberry and a something else. Raspberry and a blackberry. It's delicious, honestly. It's really good. So we do lots of edibles, Jay. So keep coming back and joining us here on YGTV, or come and join us on TikTok where we do a lot of stuff as well. Elaine says, yes, thanks, the tree fern. Oh, it's a new one. Oh, they sent you a new one. That's good. If you do ever have a problem, obviously, get in touch with customer services. They will help you out. Any of our winter hardy items, classed as winter hardy, got the snowflake symbol on the product page. They are covered by our lifetime guarantee.
Okay.
Which means that even if you've had a winter hardy plant, like Charles Lamont here, for example, that would be in the winter hardy guarantee. If you've had it for 10 years and then it died, you could actually get in touch with customer services and they would replace it free of charge. You just have to cover the postage cost to get it out to you, but they will cover it. It's brilliant, isn't it? Amanda's growing the tayberry. She says it's delicious. So yes, that's a good one.
What does tayberry look like?
They look like an elongated raspberry. Yeah, like that.
Oh, they're tayberries.
And it's a hybrid between a blackberry and a raspberry, isn't it? So you get the mixture. So you've got the kind of tartness of one and the sweetness of the other.
Wow.
You don't often find them in shops. There was that very expensive, that one that I can't afford to go in because of the W. Only go in occasionally when you're feeling a bit flush.
Women-S.
You go in occasionally just to buy the odd thing. So they did stock them for a while. I don't know if they still do, but the thing is, you don't find these in many places because they don't travel well.
It feels very Waitrose.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Maybe you've got no choice. Maybe the only supermarket near you is Waitrose.
I love Waitrose.
Oundle.
I just can't afford to be watching it. Oh, Neil says I'll be watching on Wednesday. Thank you, Neil. Yeah, I'll be on QVC on Wednesday, 5 p.m. on QVC 2 or QVC Style if you're on Sky. It's channel 37 on Freeview. I'm not sure of the channel number on Sky, but I will be there at 5 o'clock for a full hour of YouGarden. And they are different things that we have on there to what we have in here. So it's well worth watching both. Absolutely.
Yeah, see what's going on.
So thank you, Neil. Come and join me on there if you fancy a bit more of me and plants.
Oh, right, yeah. There is an offer. Fancy a bit more of me?
Talking about plants.
TikTok after this, by the way. You haven't got to go anywhere, so keep watching right now. But about 1:30, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, innit?
Yeah, about 1:30. About
1:30, we'll be on the YouGarden TikTok live.
So Jay says he's got over 100 fruit trees, many of which were from YouGarden. Lots of fruiting shrubs and vines, perennial vegetables, herbs and flowers. He'll go through his pics and send us some more. So brilliant. Thank you so much. Lovely to have all the comments. Join the chat on YouTube. Join the chat on Facebook. Send us any pictures or comments or questions to the email address, which is on the bottom of the screen right now.
Now, friends.
We love our gardening community.
We do. I'm going to leave that free P&P sign there. So next time I can't find it and forgotten where it is...
It's there.
It's there.
Okay, good.
Okay? It's there. Charles Lamont is there. Don't frame it out, Stu. I'll never know where it is.
Smell that.
Okay. I've fallen for this before with you, Beck. Oh. You know what? That's classic. I mean, classic floral, isn't it? It's like it's not as crazy strong as Daphne.
No.
But it's very pretty.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm currently. I've as gardeners, we are always making lists in our heads of plants we want, things we want to do. And again, I'm sorry to bore everybody who's been watching a while, but you'll know that I'm hopefully planning to move home this year.
Yep.
If I can sell and if I can find somewhere new. So in my head, I'm making lots of lists of plants that I'm going to want to put in my new garden.
When you're thinking about your new home, by the way.
Yes.
Now, with your life now,
yes.
How much are you thinking about what garden you're shopping for?
The garden is the main
thing. It's huge, right?
The garden is, to be honest, I mean, there's a balance that we've got to make because obviously we're a family of four.
Kids
it's not just me. There's kids, there's a couple of dogs. So we need a certain amount of things in the house. But it's an instant no to many houses just because of the garden.
You know that, maybe you've seen it already, that bungalow that you spied in Bourne?
Yeah.
That's back on.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Have you viewed it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I drove past it the other day and I was like, I actually like that one, but it was gone, now it's back. Okay, fine, we'll talk about it later.
I'm looking at it. So yeah, Charles Lamont is on my list of, and there's one that we've got called Dawn as well.
Okay.
Which is a viburnum, and I want them in my garden because look at it first of all, and then the scent that you're getting from this. Now, this is one that flowers on bare stems, and there is something about things that flower on bare stems that really, really talks to me. It makes it really stand out. The foliage will follow, but at this time of year, what you're going to have are these gorgeous flowers. And actually, typically, this is going to flower over those winter months. It should start sort of late autumn, maybe October, November time, and it'll go through winter and into early spring till about March time. It'll get fairly big. It can get to probably 2.5 metres in height. And just picture that, bare stems, with the amount of flowers you're going to have on there and the fragrance that's going to come from that. It is really nicely established. It's in a big pot.
It is, isn't it?
We've got one cluster sort of open here, but on that cluster you've got a couple more that are waiting to open. But then you can see, if you follow it down the stems...
I feel like in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, imagine what this one will look like.
Well, you can see all of those buds there, and then at the tops of all of the other stems, you can see all of these other buds just waiting to burst open. So you're going to have so many flowers on here, and then you're going to get it every year because it's fully winter hardy. It's got the Award of Garden Merit. It's super easy, doesn't need a huge amount of pruning. It's fantastic. I love it.
Beautiful, isn't it? So ready to go to bloom and blossom in your garden, 510709. I guess from there we move on to the next one. It's the same story here, right?
Similar story, but evergreen here.
Okay.
So, and actually a few more benefits to this one. So viburnum, they like a sunny spot, particularly. They'll cope in a part shade spot, but they like a sunny spot.
Okay.
Your sarcococca, this can actually grow in a shady spot.
Okay.
It can grow in a full sun, absolutely happily, but this one is a great one as a problem solver that will grow in a shady spot.
Right.
And it will still flower, it will still give you fragrance, it will still give you all of that evergreen structure all year round.
Pretty, isn't it?
Now, this is the plant that I found years ago, before I was really, really into gardening, a good sort of 10 years ago. I was on a walk with the kids and my husband, they were little, and we were walking around Ferry Meadows, and there was this scent that was coming from somewhere. It was February time, and the scent of it just, I was like, I've got to find this plant, and I was hunting it down. I was going around, I was sniffing all these plants trying to find it. Had no idea what it was called. Sent a picture to my mum going, please, can you tell me what this plant is? And she sent a message back saying, I think it's called Christmas Box or something like that. And I hunted it down, and she's right, it does have the name of Christmas Box.
Yeah.
I hunted it down and I bought it and planted it in my garden because I just loved that scent
so
much.
That, like, not just visually, but obviously the stimulus you get from all your different scents.
Yeah, and you can see, look, how you get all of these buds, look, just absolutely all the way down that stem, and then they're going to open up. There's not much fragrance coming from this. Yeah, no, there's not much fragrance coming from this at the moment, but as soon as those flowers start to open, and it normally starts flowering sort of, well, I mean, anywhere between... I mean, they can start in February and they go through March and into April time, but the flowers you get from that, the scent you get from it is incredible. Plus it's evergreen, plus it grows in shady spots, and it's a slow grower. So that is mine in my garden last year. I've actually transplanted it. That was it in a pot. I've actually transplanted it into the border. I'm probably going to have to dig it back
Get that back out ASAP.
I'm probably going to have to dig it back up and put it into a pot again. But that was it last year as those flowers started to open. And that's just around the corner. You go around the corner there to go into the back door. So every time I walked out in the wintertime,
perfect
I got that
position,
beautiful
isn't it?
fragrance.
But again, it could live in the pot the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
Near the door that you open up, near a window, something like that. Why not? 510-579 to get a hold of your winter gem. Why not 2124? Don't forget to check out maybe you're going to check out in the show. Maybe you're going to check out straight after at 1:30. Half past 12. Yeah, well, you can check out 1:30, but you know what I mean. But please use the code YGTV0725. What a move. Why? Very good. We'll keep that one for the show reels too. Free P&P on all orders, whether it's £1, whether it's £100, with the code YGTV0725. Bex, I think we've got to wander this way, haven't we?
We have got to wander this
so
way,
well done,
Back to the
everybody.
favourites.
Indeed, the hellebores. And I'm not here very often. I watch, I comment when I see you guys, say hello.
Thank you.
And I always appreciate the invite. It's so exciting that there's something to plant on, and in this winter it'll look like this, or maybe in 2 years' time it'll look like this. Some things are also selected for you because it looks like that
right now. Yeah, absolutely. So this is looking amazing at the moment. The stock of this is particularly big. I will point out, I mean, that one's slightly smaller, but a lot of them are looking like this.
And they all grow.
So, yeah, and they all grow, obviously. So we've got a really particularly decent stock looking at the moment. So just show you the roots on those as well, because that is incredibly rooty. What's going on below ground is as important as what's going on above ground. And then you're going to get, in winter, so between February and April time, you will get these beautiful flowers appearing on here. And February is it's a hard month. January and February, they are tricky months. There's a few things you can plant in your garden to get that colour, but it's not like planting something for, June and July, where there's all the choices. Yeah. This is all about your winter garden and making sure that there is something that makes you get up and go outside in the wintertime.
Yeah.
You'll look from the window and you'll see that hellebor's flowering, and you'll go out and you'll have a look. It's the perfect combination for snowdrops and maybe other varieties of hellebores that are flowering, and it just plugs that gap. We're starting to see the new shoots coming, aren't we? We're starting to see... Elaine, thank you for sending your picture of your allium bulb starting to poke up. We're seeing the daffodil shoots coming up. We're seeing tulip bulbs starting to poke up through the ground. We're just waiting for all that colour. This is plugging that gap, giving you that colour before that spring thing happens. Yep. Gorgeous colours included, winter hardy, clump forming as well, so you can divide those clumps in later years. And reliable. Every year that'll give you that colour at this time of year.
I love how nature knows, right? Because I know the daffodil shoots are out, at least in the gardens that I see. Yeah. They haven't quite flowered yet in my world, but you see them and it's like, oh yeah, here we go, finally. I don't know how they know because it's so cold right now, but spring's coming, isn't it? We're going to get there. We're so close. Even though we're looking seriously on the forecast for next week, at least down here anyway in Lincolnshire, it's going to be nice. Nevertheless, hellebores 560968. Let's skip on to our azaleas if we can. Yeah, so an evergreen shrub for you. Azaleas have been really popular lately, and I think it's because we know that springtime is coming. Yep. So that's when you're going to get those flowers, and you should get some flowers on these plants, absolutely. Obviously, as they establish and get a little bit bigger, you will get, I keep using this word, profusion, and I really do mean it with this plant. On that evergreen plant, so foliage all year round, you are going to get so many of these blooms, and that orange colour is delightful. Honestly, it's such really unique, shiny, gorgeous orange colour that you get here, and it almost completely covers the shrub when you have that bloom, and that will happen every single year for you, April and May. They do require ericaceous compost, so if you don't have ericaceous soil in your garden, do think about planting these in pots. You can happily grow them in pots. They'll only grow to 1 metre by 1 metre, and that's probably going to take about 10 years to do that, so it's the perfect plant to grow in pots. And they're just going to delight every year. That's what I really enjoy about them. They don't require
any pruning, really.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever pruned a rhododendron or a azalea. They grow so slowly. They're nice, neat shrubs anyway. They don't require any of your attention, but they just look good all year round, and that's what I adore about them.
Doing their thing, striking, recognisable, different, that hot orange colour, right? 511-502. The G, and speaking of like a pop of colour, these are so, I think, and obviously you can put them in the ground if you want to, but I love the picture. I think this is a lovely little representation in a pot. I wonder how big that pot is in that picture. What do you think?
Well, these will grow to about 60, 70 centimetres height, and they spread by about, they can spread to about 50 centimetres if you allow it to, but that's not that big at all. I reckon that's probably maybe a 8-inch pot, 20 centimetres, something like that.
Okay, great.
And you could happily grow it in that, but if you plant it in the ground, it will get bigger in 2-3 years' time. It will spread to 40, 50 centimetres wide. So it's up to you, really, whether you want to plant it in a pot or you want to plant it in the ground.
I'd love the idea to be in the ground, but if you haven't got the ground,
totally.
then I'm thinking, to have this, I think it's a really lovely, again, move it around.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying right at the beginning of the show, we were talking about gardening for everyone, and not everybody has borders. Not everybody has gardens. Some people have balconies or just tiny outside patio spaces and just do container gardening. We've got so many options for you if you just do container gardening. I do a bit of both, but I have found, because of my clay soil and because my garden is south-facing, all of the sun is on the house. It's not on the borders. The borders are actually quite shady.
Yeah.
So it's south-facing garden, but actually that means my borders, which are right next to the fences, are actually heavy shade.
Good point.
So I do a lot of container gardening for that reason. The colour on the fire starters is red, and it's a beautiful red colour, and they're double bloom, so they've got lots of petals on them.
The leaves are really striking as well.
I think they are.
Sorry, leaves.
They look a bit like dandelion leaves.
They do a little bit.
But I like the mounded foliage that you get from GM plants. So you get that mounded foliage at the base, but then the flowers rise up out the top of it. So there's no competition between the foliage and the flowers. The flowers really are front and centre of the show. And look at that. That's just delightful, isn't it?
Striking, isn't it? Now,
perfect.
I'll quickly ask about, there's a new addition, which is the pots here, right? We're slowly going to go all of them, but if it is that beigey pot...
Yeah, they're fully recyclable.
Here we go. So if they look like that, which eventually I'm sure it'll be rolled out.
So they can go into your normal recycling.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of pots out there in the nursery. I'm not going to unpot something that's, needs to be least trauma the better.
Yes.
But when the new stuff comes in, they're going to be in these kind of pots where you can recycle them if you want to. Maybe you've never recycled a pot. I bet you haven't.
I was going to say, most gardeners don't recycle pots.
I bet you've got huge amounts of, in your potting, your own potting shed, in the greenhouse. I get it. But when you choose to, you can do with the beigey ones anyway. There you go. The GM's a fire starter, 561-219. Well done, everybody. Checking out your baskets on YouGarden.com. That's where you go. Use the code, after all, YGTV0725. Free P&P, your extra savings, and other incentives too. But on YouGarden.com is where you press check out. We are live walking, Bex.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh, gosh, let's go.
We're going all the way over, I believe, to the Hybrid Tea Rose collection, where you're going to get 5 bare root roses included in this particular pack here.
Okay.
But not just the 5 bare root roses, you're actually getting a free gift with this item, because this one's the deal of the week, right?
Yep.
So, with the deal of the week, we are getting added value.
Well, there it is, £14.99's worth.
14, come on.
£14.99
worth of the Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster. So this is a complete fertiliser. It's high in NPK. It's got all the trace elements that you need in there. It's specifically designed to use on rose bushes, rose shrubs and things. But actually, you can use this on pretty much everything in your garden. So Stu's saying to me, is it 25 grams of feed? So he's saying that there's enough for 30 feeds here, and this is an annual feed as well. So you actually
it'll last forever.
It lasts you for a long time. It's got one of those resealable things as well, one of those push reseal things.
Yeah.
So you can actually reseal that, but you can use it on your shrubs, your bare roots, your plug plant. You can use it on pretty much everything in your garden. So you'd use this when you plant your bare roots, or you can use it on existing rose bushes as a top dressing around the top, and it'll seep into the ground.
Now, you've got a bare root right there.
I have.
Let's say I've never shot before.
Yes.
I've never grown anything before, but I'd love to give it a whirl. How much am I burying? What do I see when I get home when I put it in a pot?
Good question. So 5 of them included, all with the colour tags. You'll unwrap them. This is what they look like. This bit here is what we call the union.
Okay.
The knuckle. Yes, right there.
The knuck.
So what you're going to do is, if I hold it that way around, you're going to bury that.
Knuckle deep.
just below soil surface is where you're going. So you want that to go just under the ground. So where my finger is, that's where you're going to go with your compost. A lot of people might go under.
That's what I was...
Yeah. No. I mean, look, there is differing advice out there on the internet if you want to go and research it all. The advice that we will give you is bury it. I think it gives... it actually gives stability to the plant as well. If you go slightly deeper, it'll give that stability, particularly if you're planting it in a more exposed area. So yeah, just slightly below the soil surface. Now, they're very simple to plant. If you've planted a potted plant before, you can plant a bare root. There are so many more benefits to getting a bare root. First of all, value. You're not paying for the pot, you're not paying for the compost, you're not paying for the time it's taken for somebody to A, pot that on, but B, then look after it. So we're able to bring them to you at much better prices.
Hence why it's £2 a root when you break it down.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's less costs when it comes to transporting, of course. From an environmental point of view, there's less of a carbon footprint with delivering these because of the weight and the size of them. Yeah. They're really easy to do. All you have to do is unwrap your bare roots, and then you're going to soak your bare roots. Dunk it in a bucket of water and let it sit there for at least 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, overnight even. You could leave it there. Give it a really good drink that wakes it up, and then you're ready to plant it out.
Righto.
Into your chosen location. Roses need a good amount of sun. They need 6 hours of direct sunlight in a day. That's what full sun means. It means a minimum of 6 hours direct sunlight in a day. So make sure you're planting it in that kind of spot. These are hybrid tea roses, which means they are the tall, straight stems you get with one flower at the end, as opposed to the floribunda, where you get clusters of flowers at the end.
Yep.
Hybrid teas tend to be larger and more fragrant, as a general rule, and you're getting 5 gorgeous colours included in this particular collection. And this is good for gardeners of all abilities. Please do not avoid roses because you're brand new to gardening and you think, oh, they're too tricky for me, I need to start with something easier. I have found that roses are super easy, amazing displays, results in the first year. You will get flowers in the first year. I planted, how many did I plant last year? I think 3 bare root roses I planted last year, and I had roses in the first year. They'll get bigger and better this year, but I did get roses in the first year, and you will as well.
Amazing, so you have the exact same experience. It's a brilliant, maybe the whole thing's like the Mother's Day gift to mum.
Yeah,
or
beautiful idea.
End of March, isn't it?
Yeah.
530211. We are very lucky. What a happy accident to have the gladioli on the show. It wasn't necessarily on the show lineup of the YGTV side of things, therefore wouldn't necessarily get the code. But we've swung it. So you can use this week's code and get the saving and free P&P on 100 bulbs, Max.
100. I'm very tempted to get these myself because I just think they are incredible. 100 bulbs for $12.73 as a club member. That's just brilliant, isn't it? Now, they're winter hardy, they're perennial, they'll come back for you. You get 100 of them because you're going to want to plant these in clumps. Don't plant them individually. They will look very sad and lonely on their own. So let's say you go for 15 or 20 of them in a clump together. You'll get 5-6 clumps of them. That gives you so many beautiful colours, some bi-coloured blooms in there. The sweet shop confection of colours is what we describe it as on the website, and I love that description. They flower from the base to the tip as well. They open in succession, which I really like about these. Excellent as cut flowers, quite long-lasting as cut flowers in actual fact. So those are going to give some amazing displays indoors, and you've got enough with 100 to be able to do both, to leave some outside and bring some indoors. If you stagger your planting, so do one clump one week, another clump the next week, another clump the week after, and another clump the week after, what you'll find is that you do extend that gladioli flowering season because they will all come up at slightly different times. So you'll get a few more weeks out of your gladioli flowering if you do it that way as well. It's up to you though. If you want to plant them all out together, go for it. It's your choice.
Interestingly, in that frame you just saw a second ago, there were some darker colours in the background, which is kind of going to bring us on to the black velvet actually. And look at there, like that picture there. Maybe it's about to flower, maybe it's not. But you see the little the darker black colours coming through. So imagine this in conjunction with your black velvet, or on its own, as you say, 100 bulbs, 630002. Should we nip over to the black velvet then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I think it's one of those ones that maybe you hadn't considered before, now you're like, How useful is this going to be?
I do love it. New Zealand flax or Formium, the black velvet, I think they are stunning. They have this architecture, which I often talk about in relation to things like cordylines and things, because of the, you know, the sort of sword-shaped leaves. But these do have a softness that cordylines, I think, are, you know, don't have. They have this arching. It's more arching quality to the stems that you get on here. Yeah, more grass-likes do. You're right. But it's the colour for me on this one. It's really dramatic. It's dark and it's moody and it's mysterious. But then when you see it with colour,
boom.
Like that is what you need, isn't it? That kind of contrast of the bright colours and that dark, moody colours that you've got with the Formium. That is why this is a valuable plant. This is where, you know, garden design really comes in. This is how you make plants, certain plants stand out in your gardens. And once these get established as well, the flowers, I'm a big fan. Was it Adam who said somebody was saying to me they don't particularly like the Formium flowers, but I think they're incredible. I think they're really stunning when you see those rise up out of those. Needs to get a little bit more mature before it'll produce them.
What do the flowers look like?
They're these lovely kind of red, I mean, they're tall stems that come up, and these are like spires, yeah, and they're red blooms. They're gorgeous, love them. And you're getting 3 of these as well. These are going to grow to about 3 feet in height, and then you get these sort of
so they're probably
arching stems.
Yeah, so actually they cover a big area, don't they?
Yeah, they spread 2-3 feet.
Well, very, very popular today, this Sunday one. Everybody, if you're checking out your baskets on this on YouGarden.com using the code, I know I say it all the time, but I want you to get free P&P.
I do too.
Yep, 511 pack of 3. And as you brought it over.
Yes.
The complete summer flowering bulb collection.
Yeah, 7 different varieties. We've actually unpacked some there,
so
I've
lovely.
kind of hidden some of them, but that's our bulb buffet. And then those are the individual packs around the edge here. So all of them individually labelled so that you can see which ones you're planting. What they're going to do is provide you with 4 or 5 months worth of colour here, because they're all going to flower at slightly different times. So most of them are going to want to be in a sunny position, but you'll be able to look at this when you get them. There's loads to use as cut flowers. They're wildlife friendly. They naturalise in your garden. They're easy to grow. And you are going to get those lovely 7 different varieties.
I can see them on the packaging there. Iron Cross, etc., etc.
So you've got gladioli in there. You're going to get 10 of those, reaching about 1 metre, flowering between June and August. You're going to get 45 of the Accidanthera. They reach about 1 metre in height, flowering between August and October. 35 of the Brody-Ear. Those are the slightly shorter ones, about 50 centimetres, June, July time. 20 of the freesia bulbs, about 25 centimetres, flowering between June and August. Allium mollies, the yellow ones, 30 centimetres, flowering between May and June. You're going to get 75 of the Oxalis Iron Cross, which is, that one there, look. So that's the new one that's been added into the pack there.
Lovely.
They are really nice and short as well. They're also known as the Lucky Clover because the leaves look like a clover leaf.
Yeah, I see that.
And they're flowering between June and July. And then finally, that's the Accidanthera. And I want to plant those with the Liatris spicata, which are these ones here, reaching about 1 metre in height. And unusually, they flower from the top down. There aren't many flowers that I know of that do that. So a lot of them flower from the base up.
Like gladioli, you were saying.
That one flowers from the top down.
If that's the sort of thing you really like the height of something, and you don't get the height, then those ones next to the gladioli.
Yeah, for sure. Because
you
only get 10 gladioli in here, so I would definitely be going for this and the pack of 100.
Yes. But listen, this is the variety you're getting home, right? 630-130. Let's go back one if we can to Verbena if we can.
Yeah. One of our favourite ones. I absolutely adore this one, but Sean is a real fan of this one, and he has some really good results with his Verbena.
Should we have a look?
Let's.
Come on.
Well, this edge of my patio looks a little bit severe and harsh, I think you'll agree. But if I take you around this side, I actually planted last year Verbena bonariensis, and I just love this because you still get the view, but it softens the whole border. And I just adore these like pom-poms of purple. And it's a massive one for the pollinators as well. You get so many bees just dancing around here. But Verbena bonariensis, it's often known as a transparent plant. And what it does, it really highlights other plants in your beds and borders without dominating. You can always see through it. You've got these lovely kind of, I always call them like plants that look like they've done Pilates, because you've got these long, lean kind of stems and side stems. and there's these little purple pom-poms on the edge of every one. So they never block, they never dominate, they never overtake, but they complement all the other plants in the garden. Now, these are in full flower right now. Last year, I let them go to seed. I want to show you what's happened. So if you come and take a look down here, I mentioned that I let these go to seed last year. They look really attractive during the winter, but look, there are now hundreds of mini Verbena bonariensis. Look, loads and loads of these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to plant them all the way around the garden. So imagine what I've got here. I can have the other side of the patio, and then I really want, that border's a bit dull over there, so I'm just going to plant dozens of Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to look great. And all these plants were free just from the seeds from these.
That looks a little bit like you're saying about the cottage garden thing, like just
I love it.
a bit wild, untamed, lovely little picket fence, you can imagine.
Great. I mean, honestly, I planted some, and I've planted some for a couple of years now, and so I planted a new one at the 9 centimetres that you would be getting, and within the first year, they were my height. They get to your height in one season, in 1 year. And then they just do it next year, and they get bigger and better. They're amazing, and they throw out these little seedlings as well. So they self-seed happily.
Just popping up here and
there.
Just
pop up all over the place, and then you can dig them up, you can pot them up, you can give them away, you can put them in different areas of your garden. Oh. They're fantastic.
There we go, 3 9cm pots, £12.72. That is your club price. You're still very active in the chat, which we love. Email, YouTube, Facebook. What do you got for us, Bex?
I put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing for a change.
Something very serious is going on.
So yeah, thank you so much for all the new people coming into the chat. We love having everybody in the chat, so all the regulars, but we love having the new people come in as well and join in the group. Rhiannon, I'm having my garden landscaped in March.
Oh, okay.
Having 2 sleeper boxes made, going to need lots of soil or compost. Rhiannon, if you get in touch with our customer services department, we can actually do bulk orders. Steel comes in bags, not like in a builder's sack, but we can send you a pallet full. So get in touch with customer services. They might be able to organise that for you. She's saying I might have to order another sarcococca. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great one. Grimmy was asking what's the height and spread of the hellebore, please. So hellebore gets to about 60 by 50. Hang on, am I saying that right? Hang on 1 second.
Should I find out? Remind myself.
There's too much in my head. No, there is too much in my head. Apologies, I was over-egging that. Gets to about 35 by 35 centimetres. So a foot and a bit by a foot and a bit is what we're talking about with those ones. Elaine's saying just put my second lot of potatoes in now. Oh. So she's growing potatoes this year.
Second lot, so you had a harvest.
Oh, Neil's answered the question for me. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate it. You guys are so good. You all get in there and answer the questions. That's brilliant. Thank you, Neil. See, Grimmy's thanking Neil now for answering the question.
You guys.
This is what a lovely group this is. Yeah,
it's all on YouTube. There's a very similar chat going on Facebook too. What's that?
Millie says, does that plant with the funny name beginning with an S and lots of C's, that's the sarcococca?
Yes.
Does it need ericaceous compost? No, it doesn't, my dear. That's absolutely fine in our regular compost.
I haven't said
so
it,
you're good.
I wouldn't pronounce it right, Millie, so.
It's fine. And again, Neil's coming in and answering the question, so you're all good. Don't worry about that. And now Rhiannon, you've come up with a great suggestion here. So for the formium that we were talking about here, she is suggesting the Nandina Firepower, or any of the Nandinas in actual fact would work perfectly. I'm pretty sure I just heard Stu get out of his chair.
Yeah, he's doing something.
And I think any second now, he's going to come in with a Nandina so that we can actually show that. So yeah.
No, that in there.
Nandina Firepower in with... I got it.
Okay.
In with the formium. Once that gets bigger, that's going to look absolutely incredible.
All that together.
So Rhiannon, yeah, totally. That is a brilliant idea. So yeah, now I'm thinking black velvet along with Nandina. Right, I hope I've covered off...
Was that from Millie?
That was from Rhiannon, who was suggesting that.
Rhiannon.
So yes, thank you. That is a great idea. And Jay's permaculture allotment have just said that they've sent some pictures. Oh, Millie, your things come through. Oh, there's so many things.
Oh, that's right. What time?
Right, Bob. This is my Rooty Beauty I received last week.
Ah, here we go.
So Barb has sent through, it's the Rudbeckia. Very nice. Barb, you're going to be so pleased you got Rudbeckia. Love those plants, gorgeous yellow colours, and it is a Rooty Beauty, you're right. It looks really rooty underground anyway.
Really rooty.
Really
she
sent a
beauty.
picture of the roots.
Oh, wow.
Now that is a Rooty Beauty, isn't
Wow.
it? That is desperate to be planted.
That's ready to rumble, isn't it?
That's really desperate to be planted. Give it a little squeeze and tease. Give it a little squeeze. Make sure the roots are pointing sort of outwards and downwards. Get that planted. That's going to be amazing. Thank you, Barb. If anybody wants to send any emails, we don't have long left, but we will get to look at them. Hopefully we'll get to show them, but the details are on the bottom of the screen. Millie says, sorry, I've sent this multiple times. What type of soil? We have just answered that, haven't we? It's the Sarcococca. So she sent us just a little picture of her Sarcococca there in a pot. Regular soil, regular compost. Our premium professional if you can, because it's got amazing stuff in there. But that is looking incredible. Yeah, it's still in the nursery pot there waiting. So you're fine holding on to it like that. It's not an issue at all.
It's ready to go, isn't it?
Ready to go. And then, here we go. Here's Jay's. As promised, feel free to show any you like. The apricot tree is the early Moor Park from YouGarden. He says, I'll get some better pictures this year. Enjoy your Sunday. Feel free to look on my Instagram and use any from there if you like. Oh, thanks, Jay. We will. Stu will definitely check that out. Oh, look.
So this was what the
blossom
apricot
is on. Look at that.
This is the food. What was it? Food forest.
Food forest, yeah.
Imagine this in the middle of summer, end of summer.
I mean, that's going to be
That's a
absolutely
proper
incredible.
height tree, isn't it?
And it's going to create some beautiful fruits on there as well. Hang on, because he sent lots of pictures. So this is his fruit forest at the moment. Obviously, it's looking a little bit bare, but that's what gardens look like right now. But you can see all of the plants that he's got going on there, all of those different areas. I want to go and have a look round.
Where was Jay?
See the daffs coming
He was London,
out.
wasn't he? You're in London on Wednesday?
I am in London on Wednesday.
Look out, Jay.
I'll just nip down a bit earlier. Come and see you. Hang on, let me see if there are more pictures. Oh, we sent lots of pictures. I'm not going to be able to look at all of them, but yes.
Why not? Let's do it.
He's got, is that a Forsythia he's got growing over there? Yeah, it could be.
That's
Lovely. What a lovely space this is going to be.
Is that a hill?
Is that a
A
hill?
world of bark?
What, this?
Yeah, do you walk up and around there?
I think you walk around that. I think it's a pathway.
Yeah.
To get in there. That's going to be lovely. Ah, we'll have a proper look through those. Thank you, Jay. He has attached,
Go on,
like...
pick one more random one.
That one. He has attached a lot of pictures, so I will spend a bit of time and look through all of these, Jay. Thank you so much for sending them through. Yeah, that looks incredible.
Very cool. Jay, everybody else, thank you for your emails, your comments, etc., etc., etc. Now, you can just spy it in the shot there. Bex, come with me. Keep your glasses on.
I'm going to keep him on.
Keep them on.
Why not?
You can do what you want. There we go. That's good. We're on. we can bother for another 10 minutes, can't we? Here we go. These are so useful. Something you've personally got hold of as well.
5 of them.
5 of them. And we were talking earlier on, weren't we, about how to move growing, climbing something.
It was a climbing rose,
It was
yes.
roses, wasn't it?
I wouldn't put a rose in these, but I would put pretty much every other climber in here, absolutely. They are perfect for so many different climbing plants. I mean, so just me, I've got clematis, I've got Trechilospermum and the star jasmine. We've got that available on the show today. I've got the flame lily in there, and last year I had 2 of these, which were for my sweet peas that I was growing. They looked brilliant in here. So they come in the separate parts that Dan is showing you there. So the 3 trellis parts are separate, and they click in to the base here. You can see just there, that's where they clip in. And then each of the trellis parts clips in to the one below it. Then you've got a freestanding structure.
I love the little like tarnished gold on it. That's
it's nice,
cool.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really see much of it when you've got things growing up and around it.
You see it down here, don't you, pot-wise,
when you've got a deciduous plant like wisteria, that looks pretty boring and rubbish over winter. But actually, then you've got that brushed kind of burnished gold colour. So it adds just that extra bit of interest for your deciduous climbers. The holes at the side are big enough to get your hands in. So when you need to manipulate and move the plant around, you can
Interestingly,
do
so
that.
I'm familiar with this, and I thought that was just like, you know, for the plant to come out and climb around it. But you perfectly said, actually, no, it's the size is for you can help along and let them do the thing.
Absolutely, you can help it to do what it needs to do. It's lightweight, it's made of plastic, but it's UV stabilised, it's frost-resistant plastic, so it's designed to last for many years, okay? So, I mean, I've had mine for, what, 4 years? Yeah. Well, certainly the first one I got was about 4 years old, and it's still going strong very, very happily. 360 degrees of colour. So if you're looking at it from the other side of the garden, it still looks good. If you're looking at it from this side of the garden as well. What I recommend is you don't build the entire thing in one go. You just put the base on, as we've done here.
Yep.
So if we were talking about the trackless firman, for example, you would take it off the cane that it comes in, and then you're going to weave it around the base bit. And then as it grows, you can add the second one on and help it to weave up around the base one. It's just much easier to get your hands in and do it than if it was tall like this. Even though, as I say, you've got the room to get your hands in that way. It's just a bit easier. And then you've got the beautiful 360-degree display and something you can lift and take with you if you ever want to move home. Or if your plant...
Yep.
Or if your plant isn't looking great, like wisteria looks rubbish in winter, you can hide it and bring out the thing that looks good.
Yeah, of course.
Just get rid of it. It's not looking great, and bring it back out again.
There we go. So to get a hold of yours, again, you've got the pot, then you build up the 3-height trellis side.
That's my wisteria. So that was the end of the summer when that picture was taken. But you can see how you can't really see much of the climber at all. You can see the pot at the bottom, but the idea is that it's supposed to completely obscure the trellis.
I do miss a blue sky.
I know. Soon.
We've had some really impressive nights. I know, really clear nights, really starry nights, but let's get some heat in this. 130461 to get hold of yours. Well done, everybody. Right, going to quickly recap some bits and bobs for you. The Rebecca Goldstone we were just talking about before. This is what's in Beck's garden as well. 14.97. And we've got about 7 minutes left on this show. We are live on TikTok come about 1:30. So if you're not on TikTok with us yet, definitely join us from there because even more variety, different collections coming that way. Nevertheless, here we go. 560076 to get hold of yours. And look at the usual price. And that discount price turned to £12.72 from £30. The Gladioli. One of the most popular ones from last week was on last week's code, which runs out eventually, but we put it on this week's code because you're asking. 100 bulbs there, saving £5 off. Even more, of course, by being in the club. So if you want to get 100 of those different varieties in there too, for free P&P, that's why you got the use offer code on the screen, 630002. That code YGTV0725. Very quickly. The double Ellens, here we go, flowering now. You order this now. YouGarden.com is where you go. Press checkout this Sunday, be with you ASAP, and you can see the ones in our basket right here. They just 3 random ones pulled from the nursery, already flowering. 560968. You know that promo code there gives you free P&P on that. That promo code also gives you free P&P on this. And uniquely to UGTV, it gives you buy one, get one free. So you're going to get 10 poppy bare root flowers for you for the price of 5. 580007. And it's not like you have to accumulate points or anything like that at all. This could be your very first purchase. It could be your only purchase. With the code, you're buying $14.99 and you're going to buy one and get one free. We hope you join the club, get a further 15% off your first purchase and every other purchase for the rest of that year. Your item number here, 580007. And the azalea. Very quickly, that really striking orange flame flower here for you, 511502. That's in stock for you right now. Again, pack of 3 in 9cm pots for you to cut that into a different size pot if you want to, put it in the ground if you want to. And again, this one with the black velvet, just looking at some of the darker tones on the bark there, would look so striking. But on its own, 511502. Right, we've only got 5 minutes. We're going to go a little bit quicker, so make sure if it's not in your basket yet, it goes in your basket, right?
Rhiannon, we can't show it, we don't have time, but I've just checked out the picture of your garden space that you're and wowee, that is like a dream. It's completely
where she's going to do landscaping.
Rhiannon, please come back on next Thursday and come back on Sunday. We've got so many things for you. Right, Hybrid Tea Rose Collection. You're going to get 5 of these amazing roses, plus you're getting a 750-gram bag of the Rose Bloom Booster. 750 grams? That is worth $14.99 on its own.
I've got to put that in my basket, right? That's already done for us.
That's already there.
YGTV.
As long as you enter that code, you've got to put the code in. That's where you get your free gift. That's where you get your free postage. 5 bare roots. 5 different colours, all labelled. You can see the little coloured tags on there. When you unwrap the roses, this is what they look like. Give them a soak, plant them. That is it. It's just like planting a potted plant, but you're doing it with a bare root. You will get flowers this year. You'll get several flowers this year, and it will get bigger and better in next, the later years. Winter hardy, super easy. Just plant them in a sunny spot, borders or pots.
The code gives you that free gift in there, 530211. This way?
Strawberry.
Sorry, this way.
No, we're going to the strawberry. So, Jay, thank you so much. He was saying that he had the fruits from this. He tried them, and it tasted absolutely delicious. Now, we often say that the fruits they tend to be a little bit sour, but Jay is telling us if you make sure that they are ripened enough, and if we get a nice hot summer, you will get them nice and ripe. You can actually eat these as well.
No, I love it if Jay's having his on.
He might be.
Oh, they're delicious, guys.
Oh, yeah, really good. Eat them. Yeah, they're great.
Anyway.
That'd be funny. No, they are. So it's a really interesting focal point, this, because it's an evergreen plant. You get lovely flowers from this, and you get those fruits as well. It's winter hardy down to -10. Wants to be in a sunny spot. Obviously, it's going to be wildlife friendly, and this can get really nice and big if you let it. It can get 6, 7, 8 meters height here. So it doesn't have to. Of course, you can prune these things back, but it can if you want it to. So year-round interest here, evergreen, flowers, fruits. Fantastic plant, this one.
Here we go.
Apparently got interesting information about Jay's allotment.
The yellow
Cornelian
flowering
cherry,
tree
the
with
yellow
clean
flowering,
cherry.
okay. Oh, and the woodchip mound is for growing
So it is
mushrooms.
a proper mound.
How cool.
Probably
Love it.
Get foraging in there, Jay.
Amazing. I'll keep coming back, won't you? We want to hear all about it. We like to hear everybody's gardening journeys, and we like to see it all improving as time goes on as well. So.
By the way, if you come on TikTok in an hour's time, you can see all the comments going on there. There's loads more Grow Your Own. So on TikTok, YouGarden, in an hour's time, you'll see even more there. 511518 is onto Black Velvet. Here we are.
Formium. Get that contrast in your gardens. Ooh. That's what this is all about, that dark foliage, the sword-shaped leaves as well. It's not just the colour, but it's the shape of the leaves that provides that contrast in the garden. It's dramatic. It's fast-growing, but actually, semi-compact as well. It'll get to about 3 feet high. It'll spread by 2-3 feet. But it's an assured performer. This always does well. It's winter hardy down to -10. So most areas of the country, not an issue whatsoever. And it really fits into those Mediterranean-style planting schemes. You get lovely sort of spikes of tubular red blooms that come from this as well once it gets more established. I think it's a fantastic plant. The Formium New Zealand flax, it's known as. Really, really interesting focal point in a garden because of that contrast.
There we go. By the way, Neil's just popping off for a roast.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, Neil. 511518. Stu, you got a pork joint on the way? Oh.
Kev's doing a really healthy food thing at the moment, which
Right.
is nice. It's nice, but, roast
Does that involve roast potatoes with gravy?
No.
Just roast potatoes. I was in a pub.
Just a plate of roast potatoes, a little bit of salt,
I don't
loads of gravy.
I don't go out very often, but I went to a pub over Christmas, and they were handing out roast potatoes.
It's like a...
Yeah, and they were so hot.
And a mousse-bouche.
Yeah, so you were like, oh, thanks, lady. And it was just like, bite into it, it's boiling, but it was amazing.
Love it.
But what a little...
Yeah, I love it.
Like a little warmer.
That makes me very happy.
Oh, delicious. Oh, yeah, here we go. Grab a duty pot. Well, everybody, we are nearly out of time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so many of you have watched loads over live next Thursday, watching all this last 3 hours. Thank you so, so much. If there's a bestseller that comes back in stock, we're going to shout a lot about it. We want you to have the best possible experience. And this, UGTV, with that code, is the only way to get the heavy-duty pots with free P&P.
Yes, all 4 of them. Amazing commercial growing pots, first of all. That is their sort of prime, use for them. We use these for growing things in our mini orchards, as you were saying earlier. Loads of different things. But you could grow a Formium in here. You could grow your strawberry tree in here. You could grow your rose bushes in here. Tomatoes, raspberries, the hellebores, azalea. You can grow anything in here quite happily, to be honest with you. So they're brilliant for growing things in. Temporary homes for plants if you need them to be a temporary home for plants. But the reason that they are commercial growing pots is you've got the drainage holes in the bottom. You've also got the big drainage holes in the side as well, which is what's important about this. Allows any excess moisture to run away. You've got the moulded handles on the side there, which are really, really, I'm not going to say completely indestructible.
You got to go some length if you're going to...
Yeah, really got to go some to break some.
Yep.
Sean reckons he's had some for about 15 years and they're still going
strong.
And
it is very strong. strong.
And he is so strong. He's been at the gym. He's been
I know
working
he
out,
has.
actually. He's doing quite well.
I know.
But you can use them for so many different things. They will be the thing that you use the most in your garden. You will use it every single time you garden. That's the important thing. 130011 is the item number. Do get hold of those. We sold over 4,000 in a week recently because everyone's planting potatoes and things. We've just restocked, so I want you to get some.
Thank you, Rebecca.
That's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Stu, over there. Thank you. Most importantly, thank you all at home. I'll be back at some point when everyone's on holiday. I'll be available, just stood outside. Is it me now? I tell you what, we'll both be back in an hour's time.
Yes.
On TikTok. Adam, who was meant to be here, it's his birthday weekend. Have a fabulous time. Hopefully he's living his best life or having a nice quiet one.
I think he's gone away for the weekend, so hopefully.
Delightful.
Hopefully he's not watching us and having a lovely time.
Have a lovely time. Use the code, get free P&P, but here's where you check out YouGarden.com. Bex, thank you.
My pleasure, thank you.
We'll see you on TikTok in an hour or live next Thursday.